At a construction site, the sun blazes through the unfinished steel frames. A man in a white shirt, seemingly the site manager, checks his watch and urges a construction worker beside him. Why haven't they arrived yet? Boss, I just asked, and they said there's an emergency, they won't make it, the worker replies. The manager looks down into a pit filled with murky water, holding 2 stacks of bills in his hand. We're sticking to the schedule, anyone brave enough to go down and get the drill bit? This 20,000 yuan will belong to him. But the bottom is all mud, the surrounding workers complain, one wrong step and he's going to heaven. It's basically a death sentence, you wouldn't dare, another adds. Suddenly, a hand shoots up from the crowd, stunning everyone. A very young man, small but strong, steps forward. I've done it before, I'll try. He walks out from the crowd. The pit is filled with murky water, mud, and dirt. The young man is now fully equipped with diving gear. The manager asks one last time, are you sure you can do this, kid? Don't try to be a hero. When I come back, I want every cent, don't you dare hold back, the young man replies, silencing everyone. He's been down there a while, a worker murmurs. It's hard to breathe down there, the manager replies nonchalantly, let him take his time. The worker suddenly panics, no, there's no response on the radio, it's broken, pull him up. Gurgling sounds emerge from the pit. Just in time, the young man is pulled up, water splashing everywhere. Without even removing his gear, he gasps, done, where's my money? The stout manager slaps the stack of bills into his hand, so you want the money, but not at the cost of your life, huh? Here you go. He made it back this time, the other workers whisper amongst themselves, but he won't be so lucky next time. The young man's name is Xiaobei, 18 years old, currently working part-time jobs. He's risking his life like this to earn money for his younger sister's surgery. Xiaobei thinks to himself after receiving his payment, if only I could earn this much every day. He clutches the money, but it's still not enough, the strenuous labor has taken a toll on his health, and he's bleeding again. Suddenly, a mysterious figure in black, completely covered from head to toe, approaches him. You risk your life for this little money? You think it's worth it? The mysterious person asks. Slightly confused, Xiaobei replies, if it weren't for money, who would do it? I'll give you a chance to try your luck here, as long as you are brave enough. Let me tell you first, I'm not with a pyramid scheme, you look like an honest guy, want to give it a try? The stranger speaks, his face hidden behind a strange mask. Xiaobei's eyes sparkle with both curiosity and suspicion. But he simply walks past the stranger, declining politely, sorry, I'm not interested. As if I'm that naive, Xiaobei thinks to himself, can't believe I just ran into a pyramid scheme recruiter. At the hospital, Xiaobei, wearing tattered clothes, rereads messages from his sister on his phone. Bro, have you eaten? Make sure you eat properly, she asks, concerned. Xiaobei bumps into his sister's doctor and greets him, Dr. Ly, what a coincidence, I was just looking for you. Dr. Ly eyes Xiaobei from head to toe, his gaze lingering on his worn-out clothes. Disgust lacing his voice, Dr. Ly states, stop right there, you haven't paid this month's hospital bills, if you don't pay up soon, your sister won't be getting her medication. He adds more insults, his words dripping with venom. Furthermore, he continues, your sister's kidney condition is deteriorating, she needs a transplant as soon as possible. With your current financial situation, affording the surgery is highly unlikely, I suggest you prepare yourself mentally. Xiaobei hangs his head low, doctor, please don't worry, I'll pay. But Dr. Ly is already walking away, his voice booming loud enough for Xiaobei to hear every word. Ha, the cost is in the hundreds of thousands, how can someone like him afford that? From afar, the mysterious stranger, who has been silently observing Xiaobei, overhears the entire conversation. Xiaobei reaches his sister's bedside and sighs, what should I do? Where am I going to get hundreds of thousands? His sister lies motionless in bed, connected to an oxygen mask. Xiaobei can only sit silently beside her. Suddenly, a phone rings. It's Xiaobei's phone, his father is calling. A tense conversation unfolds between Xiaobei and his father. Dad, I told you, I don't have the money, Xiaobei states firmly. However, his shameless father utters cruel words. Even with surgery, there's no guarantee she'll recover. I owe a lot of money to some loan sharks. If she dies, we can sell her corneas for a lot of money. He continues, with that money, you can go to school. You just have to wait until I get there. I'll give Xiaoxi a proper funeral. Enraged, Xiaobei grits his teeth and yells into the phone, are you even human? Besides gambling, what have you ever done for us? Over my dead body will I let you harm Xiaoxi? You bastard, his father curses from the other end. Xiaobei hangs up immediately. Frustrated, Xiaobei leans against the wall, taking a deep breath to release the anger and frustration building inside him. Suddenly, he turns around. Ha! Xiaobei mutters to himself. A figure approaches from the distance, their back casting a long, eerie shadow on the hospital corridor as the sun begins to set. Xiaobei recognizes the figure, it's that weirdo from before, he thinks. The stranger doesn't hide, instead confidently raising a hand in greeting, hello. Xiaobei rushes towards him. Furious, Xiaobei confronts him, you've been following me? And covering your face? You're that pyramid scheme guy, aren't you? Get out of here before I call the police. The stranger calmly replies, you've got it wrong. I came to you because I want to play a game, he explains. He points towards a nearby building, that building, 3rd floor, if you can catch me in 5 minutes. I'll give you 100,000 as a reward. He flashes a strange, almost otherworldly smile. Are you crazy? Xiaobei scoffs, you think I'm that gullible? But as he glances at the logo on the stranger's shirt, a sense of familiarity washes over him. The stranger snaps his fingers. I transferred 20,000 yuan to you, if you catch me, the rest will be yours, he declares. Ting, his phone chimes with a notification. Xiaobei looks down at his phone, his eyes widening in surprise. Your account has received 20,000 yuan, the message from his bank reads. Xiaobei is speechless, he's serious? 20,000 yuan? How did he even get my account number? He bombards the stranger with questions, who are you? How did you know my account number? What will you do if I don't play your game? If you refuse, you can't return the money, the stranger simply replies. Xiaobei weighs his options, this is too strange, but it doesn't seem dangerous, even if I lose, I still have the money. He makes up his mind, alright, I'll play your. 5 minutes countdown starts now, the stranger cuts him off and shouts, before jumping out the hospital window. Xiaobei watches in disbelief as the man leaps from the 3rd floor. He's fine after jumping from that height? Xiaobei leans out the window, checking on the stranger below. Xiaobei crouches, ready to chase after the stranger, it's quite a distance, but he paid me, let's do this. Instead of jumping out the window, Xiaobei takes the stairs, sprinting like the wind. The sky above the hospital darkens. 31 seconds and 12 milliseconds have passed, still sprinting, Xiaobei spots the stranger in black, there, he yells. Too far, I can't catch him from behind, good thing I take this route every day, he leaps over trash cans blocking his path. This way will be faster, he thinks, continuing to run, 1 minute 20 seconds and 31 milliseconds have passed. He grabs another railing. He vaults over fences, moving with impressive agility. 2 minutes 59 seconds and 42 milliseconds have passed, Xiaobei's speed startles passers-by, what the another one causing trouble? Someone exclaims. Sweat drips down Xiaobei's face, his mind is consumed by the chase, almost there. He's right behind the stranger now. The two figures race forward, one chasing, one fleeing. But the stranger is too fast, widening the gap between them once more, from the stranger's perspective, Xiaobei is nothing more than a distant speck. 3 minutes 31 seconds and 40 milliseconds have passed, time is running out for Xiaobei, I need to go faster. Every time I almost catch him, he speeds up, he thinks, frustrated. Xiaobei pushes himself to his limit, he thought this was a simple game, but the stranger shows no sign of tiring, while his own energy dwindles. Less than a minute left, he pants, checking his phone, time is almost up, I can't catch him like this, I need to find a way to stop him. His eyes widen as he notices something. The roof, his mind races, desperately searching for a solution, I have to use the rooftops. He finds himself running across a rooftop. He takes a running leap, ready to jump. But hesitates, reconsidering for a moment. Too high, he thinks, peering down from the rooftop. But I have a clear view from here, he reasons, spotting his target, I was right, he's there. He's torn, if I jump, I can definitely catch him, but it's so high, I might die. His feet move again, instinctively, time's almost up, only 5 seconds left to catch that guy. He makes a decision, no time, my sister is more important. Xiaobei leaps, launching himself towards the stranger. He shouts, eyes clenched shut, fear flickers in his heart, but it's no match for the love he has for his sister. He plummets towards the ground, closing in on his target. 3 seconds left. The stranger continues to run, swift as the wind. The stranger checks his watch, a flicker of doubt crossing his mind, seems like it's over, he's just an ordinary human, did I misjudge him this time? For minutes 59 seconds, Xiaobei, having wagered his life, has only one goal in mind, this victory, it's mine. He lands on the ground, right behind the stranger. With the last of his strength, he reaches out to grab him. The stranger senses him, his reflexes taking Xiaobei by surprise. But Xiaobei, with a final burst of energy, manages to catch the stranger's shirt. Got you, he shouts triumphantly. From a nearby building. The stranger leans against a pillar, observing Xiaobei as he catches his breath after the dangerous chase. Another notification from the bank, Xiaobei's account balance has changed again, it's here, 100,000 yuan, he exclaims, overjoyed. Congratulations, you've earned your reward, the stranger says, do you want even more money? The next game has an even bigger reward than this one. More games? Xiaobei is stunned. Desperate to save his sister, Xiaobei sees an opportunity, if I keep winning, I'll be able to afford Xiaoxi's surgery soon, he quickly agrees, I'll play, don't even call it a game, as long as there's money, this life is yours. The stranger removes his mask, revealing a face made entirely of metal, his eyes glowing an eerie blue, he looks like a human-shaped robot, good, he states, those are your words. Xiaobei stares in shock, unable to believe his eyes, the stranger, unfazed, meets his gaze directly. He takes a metallic bracelet and fastens it onto Xiaobei's wrist. Scanning player identity, a voice announces from the bracelet. Player confirmed, the voice continues after a brief pause. Xiaobei's vision blurs, his consciousness fading, I feel dizzy, he manages to utter. His eyes flutter shut, the stranger's shadow the last thing he sees. He collapses at the stranger's feet. Xiaobei drifts in a dreamlike state. Slowly, he regains consciousness. He sits up, groaning. He's surrounded by bloodstains and old, dried-up skeletons. His eyes land on a skeletal finger right in front of him. A timer appears before him, counting down from 5 minutes, accompanied by a voice, emergency announcement, please complete the task. Survive for 5 minutes. Two children, a boy and a girl, suddenly spring to their feet, but there's something distinctly inhuman about them. They stand ready. They turn, revealing monstrous faces, pale skin stretched over grotesque features, mouths agape, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Game start, players, get ready, the voice announces. The timer displays 5 minutes remaining. Players must survive for 5 minutes, the voice continues, game will begin in 5 seconds. 5, the countdown begins, Xiaobei, finally fully conscious, mutters, game? He clutches his head, my head hurts. He looks at his hand, brow furrowed, I passed out after that stranger put the bracelet on. 4, the countdown continues, Xiaobei's eyes widen in horror, what is that? 3, two grotesque creatures feast on the corpses of other players before him, those things, they look like little devils, eating, where am I? 2, Xiaobei breaks out in a cold sweat, something's not right. The countdown timer displays a demonic face, ticking down to the final second. 1, begin. The two little devils, with glowing red eyes and gaping maws filled with razor-sharp teeth, lunge towards Xiaobei. They attack from both sides, their claws slashing. Xiaobei struggles to comprehend the situation. I don't know what's going on. But if those things catch me, I'm dead. The creatures are upon him, reacting quickly, he dodges, narrowly avoiding their attacks. Think, Xiaobei, think, he mutters, scanning his surroundings as he runs. That voice said I just need to survive for 5 minutes, as long as I don't die. The two creatures have him cornered against a wall, their movements becoming more frenzied. He spins around, noticing something strange. Where'd the other one go? I can't see it. Before he can react, the missing creature appears in front of him, a grotesque smile plastered on its face. It lunges. He barely dodges in time, the creature's claws tearing a gash in his shoulder. Shit, he cries out, adrenaline coursing through him. He turns again, his heart pounding in his chest, sweat drips down his face, the pressure mounting. The other creature is charging towards him, he jumps back, narrowly avoiding another attack. Blood drips from the creature's claws, splattering onto the ground. He looks down and sees a deep gash on his arm. Those claws, they're like knives, he eyes the two creatures, their expressions hungry and menacing, if they attack at the same time, I'm done for. The bracelet on his wrist analyzes his vitals, its display flashing as his heart rate spikes dangerously high, damn it, this panic is draining my stamina. He continues to run, putting as much distance between himself and the creatures as possible. Don't give up, Xiaobei, he tells himself, not even halfway there yet. The countdown timer displays 3 minutes 24 seconds and 45 milliseconds remaining. The creatures, despite their brutish appearance, display unexpected cunning, one crouches low, offering its back as a platform for the other to climb onto. It leaps, launching itself towards Xiaobei with terrifying speed. He sees it coming. But it's too late, what the dash? He cries out, his eyes widening in shock as the creature closes in. Terror washes over him. The creature's claws dig into his back, tearing through flesh, damn it, he screams in pain. It opens its maw wide, revealing rows of blood-stained teeth, ready to take another bite. Xiaobei knows he has to act fast, I have to get it off me. He throws his fist back, connecting with the creature's face and sending it flying. Ugh, he winces in pain. He glances at the timer, his resolve hardening, I can't give up now, 2 minutes left, I have to survive. Enraged, the creatures are relentless. They lunge at him like animals. One latches onto his hand, its claws digging deep. It smiles, a truly horrifying sight, without hesitation. It snaps 2 of his fingers, the sound like twigs breaking, they are heartless monsters, capable of unspeakable cruelty. Arg, pain rips through him, tears welling up in his eyes. His mangled fingers hang limply from his hand, a gruesome sight. The creatures screech in delight, their bloodlust growing. Clutching his mangled hand, Xiaobei stumbles to his feet, his spirit unbroken. I'm not giving up, he gasps, I'm not going to die here. The bracelet on his wrist blares a warning. Warning, heart rate at 190 BPM, reaching dangerous levels, player advised to cease strenuous activity. His heart rate continues to climb, 192, 195, 200. The pain, the fear, it's all too much, he can't even speak, he can barely breathe. And then, through the haze of pain, he hears the countdown timer, 1 minute remaining, his eyes snap open. Xiaoxi is still waiting for me at the hospital, if I die now, she won't make it either, no, I can't die here. Heart rate exceeding 200 BPM, the system announces, player skill augmentation system activated. System? What's going on? Xiaobei is caught off guard. Alert, first level skill, time reversal, activated. Restoring player Xiaobei's status. His wounds are healing rapidly, my injuries, they're disappearing? What's happening? First level skill activation successful. Xiaobei is bewildered. What? Time reversal? Skill operates on a charge and release principle. Upon activation, allows for a 3-second glimpse into the immediate future. Provides projected movement trajectories for the next 3 seconds. The system explains, utilizing this skill significantly improves survival probability. Xiaobei processes this new information, using his skill to survive? This is like some kind of power-up cheat code. Time reversal activated, displaying future movements for the next 3 seconds. His eyes glow a brilliant gold, pupils constricting. 30 seconds remaining. Distorted images flash before his eyes. The two creatures are closing in, their attacks swift and brutal. He watches, frozen in place. Unable to react as the creatures tear into him. The vision fades. Just now, was that what's going to happen in 3 seconds? He's stunned. This is incredible. He replays the vision in his mind. Okay, so the one on the right is going to lunge at me. 20 seconds left, and the one on my left is going to go for my heart. Just as he predicted, the creatures are winding up for another attack. This is it. He moves with incredible speed and agility, dodging both attacks with ease. The creatures screech in frustration, their surprise evident. He's safe, for now. 10 seconds remaining. I can do this, he tells himself, just 10 more seconds and I'm home free. His eyes dart to the timer. 6 seconds. Time to use it again, he thinks, but then he sees it. No, it needs 10 minutes to recharge. The creatures are upon him again, their attacks relentless. 3 seconds, he mutters under his breath. Come on, time, move faster, I'm the main character here. I can do this, he repeats the mantra in his head, just a few more seconds. Almost there. A massive door begins to open. He stumbles through. He leans against the wall, exhausted, his mind racing. Where did they take me? If it weren't for my protagonist's luck, I would have been carried out in 6 pieces. Those things weren't even human. Could this be part of that bigger reward the masked guy mentioned? Player Xiaobei awarded 300 points for this round. The bracelet announces, points? What are those? He wonders aloud. He continues walking, spotting a room ahead. He opens the door and stares in disbelief. The room is filled with other players, all wearing the same bracelet he is. Scanning arena wristband, the system announces, targeting Xiaobei's bracelet, please access your wristband for personal information, points, and missions. Violation of arena rules will result in immediate action from the internal execution device. The scene shifts to a strange, dimly lit room. A figure sits in the shadows, their chin resting on their hand, their expression a mix of amusement and disdain. I heard 20 newbies were joining today. So why is there only one left standing? The figure chuckles, did the rest die already? Ah, useless trash. Confused and a little afraid, Xiaobei observes the other players. Who are they? And what's with those twisted expressions on their faces? Suddenly, someone claps him on the shoulder. He turns around. Hey, you're new here, right? The person asks, their tone a mix of curiosity and something more sinister. First game fun, wasn't it? Xiaobei eyes him warily. Who are you? Why are you asking me that? Are you crazy or something? He thinks to himself, this is bad luck. I just got here and I already run into a psycho. Sensing his apprehension, the person offers an explanation. The name's Jiang. I got here 2 weeks ago, just like you. I'm a player here. Understanding dawns on Xiaobei. Player? He echoes, so, all of you. He gestures to the other players in the room. What are we doing here? Because we all cleared the first trial, Jiang replies, that's why we're gathered here. You're here because you survived that hellish 5-minute challenge, he adds. Where are we exactly? Xiaobei asks, still trying to make sense of everything. This? Jiang gestures around them. This is the arena, the battleground for a game where you wager your life. Ever heard of the AG Corporation? He asks. I'm usually too busy working part-time, Xiaobei admits sheepishly. I barely have time to keep up with anything else. They're like, the biggest tech company in the world, Jiang explains, surprised. It's unbelievable that you haven't heard of them. They own massive industries all over the globe, their wealth is practically limitless. Suddenly, it hits him, the AG Corporation. He remembers the logo he saw earlier, that guy, the one I thought was a pyramid scheme recruiter, he had the AG logo on his clothes. But what does some tech giant have to do with any of this? He asks Jiang, still confused. Look at your bracelet, Jiang instructs, pointing to the device on Xiaobei's wrist. He presses a button on his own bracelet, activating it. What's this thing for? Xiaobei asks, bewildered. Suddenly, his bracelet lights up, startling him. A grotesque, monstrous face appears on the screen. Hey there, hey there. Xiaobei, the creature greets him with a creepy grin. Welcome to the arena. Just like all the other players here, it continues, its voice raspy, you are now contractually obligated to fight for your survival. However, it adds, there is one condition for your continued existence, you can only live if you participate in our games. As the games progress, you can accumulate points to level up. The last one standing will inherit the entirety of the AG Corporation. A truly unimaginable fortune beyond your wildest dreams. However, its expression turns menacing. There's one special rule, you try to quit? You die. So work hard and claim the ultimate prize. Best of luck. For more information on the rules, please consult the newbie guide on your wristband, it adds before disappearing. The creature vanishes, leaving Xiaobei shaken and confused. An unimaginable fortune, he mutters, his mind reeling. He turns to Jiang, can we really get that kind of money? Who knows? Jiang shrugs. All I know is, it's not going to be easy becoming the last one standing. I wouldn't get your hopes up. There are 7 levels in total, he continues, we're currently at the lowest one, child. If you want a shot at that fortune, you'll have to keep playing, earning points, and leveling up. But the higher you climb, the harder the games get. If you're useless, you won't survive here, let alone dream of getting that wealth. And earning points isn't easy either. Here, points are literally money, everything you eat, everything you use, it all costs points. And the daily supplies are limited. If you don't want to starve to death, you'll have to fight for it. And the most important thing? You can't let your points hit 0. The moment you run out of points is the moment you die. So use them wisely. Xiaobei's thoughts are a jumble of conflicting emotions, the reward is tempting, but I almost died in that first round, and these rules are insane. And Xiaozi, she's all alone in the hospital, I can't leave her. Is there any way to leave this place if we refuse to play? He asks Jiang, a glimmer of hope flickering in his eyes. What kind of hellhole is this? Someone shouts from across the room. Xiaobei turns towards the source of the commotion, a player is struggling with his bracelet, trying desperately to pry it off. I've been starving for days, fighting monsters, I'm going insane, the player yells. I can get out of here, I just need to get this thing off. But the bracelet won't budge, no matter how hard he pulls. Warning, player, the bracelet blares, please remain calm, warning, player, please remain calm. The player ignores the warning, his panic reaching a fever pitch, suddenly, the bracelet explodes. And with it, the player is gone, reduced to a pile of ash. Xiaobei watches in horror, his eyes wide with disbelief, what the hell was that? Just a little preview of what happens if you refuse to play, Jiang replies calmly. You either accept it or die. I still don't understand what this game is all about, Xiaobei thinks, his mind reeling, I shouldn't have chased after that guy. Brace yourself, kid, Jiang advises, if you're not mentally strong, you're not going to last long here. Why are you telling me all of this? Xiaobei asks, suspicion creeping into his voice, I'm just a newbie, what do you have to gain from helping me? Jiang chuckles softly, it never hurts to have a strong ally. I watched your broadcast earlier. You seemed weak at first, but then you showed some impressive reflexes. It got pretty hairy there at the end, but thankfully time ran out before those things could kill you. I don't plan on seeing another broadcast like that anytime soon. The system, Xiaobei remembers the strange voice in the vision he saw, it's because of that system that I survived. Do you know anything about the system skills? He asks Jiang, hoping for an explanation. System? Jiang stares at him, confused, skills? What are you talking about? Are you sleepwalking or something? There's no such thing. He looks at Xiaobei with a strange expression, but he doesn't seem to be lying. He watched the game, but he doesn't know about the system? Xiaobei thinks, his confusion deepening. This makes no sense, but why would he lie to me? What's going on? So, does this mean I'm the only one who can see the system? I shouldn't ask anyone else about it, it could be dangerous. Current time, 19:03, 30 minutes until curfew, a loudspeaker announces. All players must return to their designated rooms before lockdown, violation will result in termination. Curfew is from 8:00 p.m. to 8:00 am, Jiang explains, you can move around freely outside the dorms during the day. Come on, I'll show you to your cell. Alright, lead the way, Xiaobei agrees, eager to learn more. They enter the dormitory building, the atmosphere tense and unsettling. If I can't leave this place, Xiaobei says, determination hardening his voice, I need to learn how to survive here. You're calmer than I expected, Xiaobei, Jiang remarks, impressed. It took me 3 days to accept my fate. They stop in front of a door labeled B24, what a coincidence, Jiang says, I'm in B10, right across from you. 5 minutes until lockdown, the loudspeaker blares. All players are advised to return to their dorms immediately. Time's almost up, you should head in, Jiang says. He waves goodbye, heading towards his own room. See you tomorrow, he calls out, I'll tell you everything I know about this place, get some rest. I'm lucky to have met him, Xiaobei thinks, at least now I have a better understanding of how to survive here. So, this is where I'll be living from now on, he reaches for the doorknob, a sense of dread washing over him as he steps inside. 4 figures are already inside, waiting for him. They look up as he enters, their expressions a mixture of boredom and hostility. Oh, the newbie finally decided to grace us with his presence, one of them says, his tone mocking, looks like we're all full. Xiaobei's heart sinks, it seems his streak of bad luck isn't over yet. Later that night, everyone is tucked in their beds, except for Xiaobei. He's been relegated to a spot on the floor next to the toilet. Xiaozi, he thinks about his sister, alone in the hospital, I have to get out of here. But first, I need to figure out the rules of this place. He fiddles with his bracelet, searching for information, he finds a file labeled newbie guide, there it is, he whispers, perfect, he clicks on it. In the cramped, dimly lit room, Xiaobei focuses intently on the guide displayed on his bracelet. A cartoon bear, the game's mascot, appears on the screen. Greetings, the bear chirps, I'm Ad, and I'll be your guide to the newbie tutorial. After completing your first game, you'll need to start accumulating personal points. 3 stick figures, representing players, appear on the screen. A survival fee of 100 points will be automatically deducted at 0000 each day. If your points reach 0, you lose your right to survive, and the execution device will activate immediately. One of the stick figures is instantly obliterated. Your current level is child. After reaching 10,000 points, you can attempt to level up to student. 10,000 points, and I only earned 300 today, Xiaobei sighs, doing the math in his head. Not to mention the daily 100-point deduction. The arena will deploy various monsters in each game to interact with players. The tutorial continues. These monsters will pursue and attempt to eliminate players. Games are categorized into 3 difficulty levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, based on factors such as duration, location, types of monsters, and number of players. The base reward for a beginner-level game is 300 points. Higher difficulty levels yield greater rewards. Important, you must participate in at least 1 game per day, or face immediate termination. Alternatively, you can pay a fee of 500 points to bypass this rule for 1 day. So I have to fight those monsters every day, Xiaobei shudders, remembering the horrifying creatures from the first game. If I want to survive, I have to become stronger, strong enough to win every game. I need to be careful, he tells himself, his resolve hardening. You have one unread message, the bracelet chimes. He glances around nervously, something's off. Attention, the system will assist you in becoming stronger. Player training? He reads aloud, what's player training? Intrigued, he taps the message. Player training system unlocked, limited time training ground access granted. Allows 1 daily session to enhance player skills, confirm? So not only can I get stronger, but I can earn bonus points, too? He smiles, this is too good to be true, he confirms without hesitation. The scene shifts, Xiaobei is sweating profusely, his heart pounding. Training simulation activated, participation in simulated games will enhance player skills. He finds himself in a vast, white space, completely disoriented. Where am I? I was just in the dorm. He takes a deep breath, calming himself down. He scrutinizes the system interface. Mission, survive for 5 minutes, difficulty, beginner, failure penalty, 100 points. 2 menacing figures appear, their features distorted and grotesque. Note, in training mode, monsters will not inflict actual damage on players. He sighs in exasperation, seriously? A survival game in the middle of the night? Zhang is outside, searching for Xiaobei. Xiaobei's not here, he scans the empty dorm. I've been looking for him for hours now, where could he be? Don't tell me he already started today's game. He can't be dead, right? What a shame, I thought he might have some skills. He shakes his head, disappointed. His eyes widen as he notices something. A figure emerges from a gate, seemingly having completed a challenge. It's Xiaobei, walking slowly but steadily, having successfully navigated another life or death scenario. Hey, we meet again, buddy, Zhang greets him, relieved, you started early. Just wanted to get acclimated, Xiaobei replies, pulling his hood down. Actually, he thinks to himself, I wanted to see if yesterday's system would be useful again. The scene flashes back to the start of the training simulation. Xiaobei, pursued by 2 miniature monsters, is running for his life. Those miniature monsters, just like in the real game, he thinks, panting, they're relentless. Even though I know it's a simulation, the sense of urgency feels real. Maybe because it's designed to make me stronger, he stumbles, losing his footing. Wait, they're even faster than before. One of the creatures brushes against him. If this were a real challenge, the damage would have been severe. Training simulation failed, 100-point penalty assessed, points deducted, simulation incomplete. System will now activate basic parkour training course for player skill development. Xiaobei is still catching his breath, his heart pounding from the exertion. Time limit, 3 hours. Failure to complete course will result in point deduction. His point total drops to 200, getting dangerously close to 0. He rubs his sore shoulder, reading the system prompts. Basic training, the monsters around him vanish. So even if I fail the simulation, I can still get stronger through training. He forces a smile, trying to stay positive. Initiating basic jump point training, initiating basic front flip training, initiating basic landing roll training. The system guides him through a series of parkour exercises, one after another. A virtual environment appears before him, showcasing the moves in detail. He attempts to replicate them, but it's harder than it looks. He falls, stumbles, and crashes into virtual obstacles, but he perseveres. But despite his efforts, he can't quite master the fluidity and precision of the movements. This is harder than I thought, he groans in frustration. I thought I could do this. The training session comes to an end, hours of simulated time passing in the blink of an eye. He collapses onto his makeshift bed, exhausted and drenched in sweat. Looking at his watch, he wondered, is what's happening some sort of time paradox? After yesterday's game, I'm certain that the system training actually improves my skills. To snap Xiaobei out of his thoughts, Zhang waved a hand in front of his face. No more daydreaming, I'll show you around this place. Zhang started leading the way, but Xiaobei suddenly stopped him. Wait a minute. Are we only allowed to play 1 game per day? If so, can you play another one? He seemed puzzled, and the only one he could trust at this point was Zhang. Zhang reacted with alarm, are you out of your mind? If you replay the game, the difficulty increases, you're already exhausted, and you want to play again? Are you trying to use up the last of your strength? Think before you act. Passers-by were equally surprised. What? Rookie, you might just meet your maker before you even win, Zhang continued, still agitated. Do you have any idea how few people survive playing consecutive games? Xiaobei, however, had a different perspective. The game's difficulty increases, so it's worth the challenge. If it gets too dangerous, I'll use my skill to escape. Accumulating points is too slow with one game a day, not to mention the daily survival fee isn't cheap either. I still have some strength left, so I want to try. Xiaobei brushed past Jiang. In this kind of game, surviving is considered extremely lucky. How can he even think about playing another round? So arrogant, Jiang was speechless, shocked by Xiaobei's audacity. Despite everything, Xiaobei walked towards the mission area. Many figures surrounded him, all appearing lost and vacant. They huddled in corners as if trying to unload a heavy burden, leaving the center path clear. Xiaobei slowly advanced. He arrived at a door. Xiaobei hesitated, seemingly calculating something he couldn't quite articulate. Players like Xiaobei, who have completed today's game at the beginner difficulty, will have the game difficulty increased for the replay. Beginner 1-star will be upgraded to beginner 2-star. Xiaobei stood before the door, carefully reading each word. Huh? It's an upgrade? A young man in red stood before a massive door, seemingly waiting for something. What else could it be? Standing in front of a door like this, he must be waiting for it to open. As he reached out and touched the door, a notification appeared. Beginner 2-star player, the challenge will begin when you enter the room. The door swung open, revealing a room full of corpses. They wore the same red attire as him, sprawled across the floor in various states of demise. One man sat slumped against the wall. His body was covered in blood and wounds. He clutched at his injuries, groaning, "It hurts." The young man stood frozen for a long moment. What level is he? Did he get hurt this badly from the game? As he spoke, he replayed the previous scene in his mind. A chaotic scene of people chasing each other. He pictured himself running frantically, mirroring his training and physical conditioning from the night before. That's why this morning's fight wasn't as tiring as yesterday's. Standing before the door to the shadows, he mused, it should be fine if the difficulty increases a little, right? He chuckled softly, to get more points, I have to try. From within the darkness, a figure clad in red emerged, turning to face him. The player has entered the room. Beyond the glass, a strange, magical smoke billowed. A pair of legs in red trousers stepped into view. It was the young man from before, seemingly startled by something. He peered through the doorway. What happened to this challenge zone? It's completely different from before. Inside the glass chamber, two figures were bound, suspended in midair. Unsure of what he was looking at, he brought a hand to his mouth, pondering, is that water? It doesn't look normal at all. A system prompt appeared, mission, survive for 5 minutes and kill one monster. He exclaimed in alarm, what? This time, I have to kill a monster within the time limit? The game's difficulty has increased, players should beware of the sulfuric acid. The system's voice echoed, they are coming, is this pool really sulfuric acid? Falling in would be certain death. A red-eyed monster lunged at him, slashing with its claws, but he narrowly dodged the attack. His red shoes seemed to possess an unusual agility. He sprinted forward, two more monsters flanking him, attempting to cut off his escape. He ran along the edge of the toxic pool, fear urging him onward but caution tempering his steps. Another monster appeared in front of him, blocking his path. This treacherous terrain is more troublesome than those creatures. Trapped, with the monster barring his way, he muttered, there's nowhere else to go. That fixed jump I practiced last night, maybe it can clear this distance. Standing at the very edge of the toxic pool, he had no choice but to take a running leap of faith. With all his might and the experience from his long jump training, he launched himself across the chasm. The timer ticked down, showing just over 3 minutes remaining. Still on his desperate run, he reasoned, if it's just corrosion, I can probably hold out until the game ends. But if I want to get points, I need to kill a monster. He glanced back at the pursuing creatures. How am I supposed to kill them with my bare hands? It's too difficult, not to mention I have to watch out for that sulfuric acid. As he desperately sought a solution, he noticed something amiss. Wait a minute, sulfuric? Two monsters were closing in, ready to strike. Backed into a corner, he had no choice but to fight. Maybe I can activate the system skill and dodge their attacks, then grab one and throw it into the pit. I'm not sure what the chances of winning against them are, but there's no more time, it's a gamble, time to activate the skill. Warning, the player's heart rate is insufficient, time reverse cannot be activated. The young man stumbled back, damn it, my heart rate isn't high enough, is it because I'm not as terrified as yesterday? With the two monsters constantly threatening him, he thought, if I can't keep predicting their attack patterns, I won't be able to dodge them, and I'll die here. Sweat beaded on his brow, fear tightening his chest, if I get injured, the pain might raise my heart rate enough to meet the requirement. He watched as a black, clawed hand slashed towards him, then blood splattered as the monster's claws pierced his arm. I just need to make sure it's not a fatal wound. Damn, that hurts more than I thought. Warning, heart rate at 180 BPM, dangerous levels detected, the player will be forced to stop the challenge. The system continued its warnings as his heart pounded in his chest. Warning, heart rate at 190 BPM, dangerous levels detected, the player will be forced to stop the challenge. Faster, come on, faster, he urged his own body. Warning, heart rate at 195 BPM, dangerous levels detected, the player will be forced to stop the challenge. The young man in red stumbled, dropping to his knees, vision blurring. Notice, the player's heart rate has reached 200 BPM, time reverse can be activated. Just in time, notice, activating time reverse, predictive trajectory of the opponent's movements for the next 3 seconds. He focused, his vision locking onto the monsters, finally, I can see their attack patterns. He used his enhanced speed, darting forward. Facing the 2 monsters, he thought, I need to kill one right now, before the skill ends, this might be my only chance. Both monsters have a tendency to attack head-on. In other words, the best time to attack is when I dodge. I'll lure it to the edge of the bridge and make it fall into the acid. Yes, right now, I have to act. He goaded one of the monsters, drawing it closer to the edge. As the monster lunged, he sidestepped, causing it to tumble over the precipice. His plan worked, the monster plunged into the abyss. It shrieked in agony as it hit the acidic pool. Mission objective updated, survive for 5 minutes. He grabbed onto the edge of the bridge, pulling himself up. I need to be quick, or I'll be the one falling down there. He tightened his grip and jumped. He landed safely on solid ground, miraculously unharmed. But there's still one monster left, and I only have 2 minutes to deal with it. He clutched at his bleeding wound, will I even be able to hold on? His vision swam, I'm getting dizzy, I can't see straight, I can't end up dying here. Notice, the player can use points to upgrade the time reverse skill. Weakened from blood loss, the protagonist swayed, collapsing to his knees, a small monster stood before him, waiting. Just then, the skill menu materialized before his eyes. Notice, player can use points to upgrade skills, upgrading will refresh the skill cooldown, time reverse level 2, predicts the opponent's movement trajectory for the next 5 seconds, activation, 160 BPM, cooldown, 8 minutes. This upgrade requires 300 points, do you wish to proceed? The protagonist hesitated, should he upgrade? It required a hefty 300 points, just yesterday, he lost 100 points for failing the system's training mission, and another 100 points were automatically deducted at midnight for survival fees. Carefully, Xiaobei checked his point balance, calculating if he could afford the upgrade. The watch displayed a remaining balance of 400 points. His total earnings from today's victory. It's not much, but if I upgrade, the heart rate required to activate it will decrease, and the cooldown will be refreshed. He glanced at his bleeding wound, his body screaming in protest, in my current state, I'm not sure I'll survive until the game ends. While Xiaobei was hesitant, the imp lunged at him in a flash. In this dangerous situation, Xiaobei, with determined eyes, told himself he had no other choice but to confirm the upgrade. As soon as he finished the thought, detailed skill information appeared on the system interface. Skill, time reverse level 2, activation requirement, heart rate of 160 BPM, cooldown, 8 minutes. Function, foresees the opponent's movement trajectory for the next 5 seconds, passive, successfully dodging all attacks within 5 seconds grants 2 minutes of movement speed boost. Xiaobei stood up, his body enveloped in a golden aura. He was surprised to see the added bonus effect of increased speed for 2 minutes after dodging attacks. The system announced that the skill upgrade was complete and the cooldown was reset. Xiaobei immediately activated time reverse, focusing on the imp's movements for the next 5 seconds. His eyes blazed with determination, I have to dodge everything perfectly. A flurry of attacks from the imp followed, Xiaobei twisted and turned, narrowly dodging each one. This was his only lifeline in this game. The timer ticked down, 1 minute and 52 seconds left. After he successfully navigated the onslaught, a system notification appeared, player has successfully dodged all attacks, activating time reverse's speed boost effect, 2 minutes countdown begins. The imp charged forward with lightning speed, its black claws bared, it swung upwards towards Xiaobei. He dodged effortlessly, surprised by his own speed, he was moving so fast he left afterimages. My body feels light, my speed has really increased. After successfully evading the attack, Xiaobei used the momentum, pushing off his toes to accelerate. He rocketed forward, leaving the imp far behind. The imp could only watch in bewilderment. Enraged at losing its prey, the imp snarled, its bloodshot eyes narrowed, sharp teeth bared in a cracked face. Dodging is getting easier now that I've enhanced my speed. If I just increase my speed a bit more, it won't be able to touch me, Xiaobei analyzed as he dodged another attack. Wouldn't I be even faster if I wasn't injured? He wondered, his golden eyes glinting. A system notification popped up, remaining time for speed boost, 1 minute and 20 seconds. Xiaobei came to a stop, marveling at his newfound abilities. The system really is making me stronger. Spending points to upgrade this skill was definitely worth it. The monster snarled again and charged at him. The timer on his wrist flashed, time remaining, 41:55 seconds. A dance of attack and evasion ensued between them. Exhaustion was etched on Xiaobei's face. 42 seconds left of the speed boost. There's still some time before the effect wears off. The imp attacked relentlessly, but Xiaobei remained calm, using the creature to test his limits. It's easier than ever to kill you now. The mission timer reached 0. He watched dispassionately as the monster he just killed slowly sank beneath the surface of the acid. Protagonist has completed the mission, survive for 5 minutes and kill 1 monster. Xiaobei sighed in relief, but he was still reeling from the intense encounter. Player Xiaobei, the system's voice echoed. Congratulations on completing the beginner 2-star game, 500 points awarded. A loudspeaker in the corner crackled to life. The game is over, please proceed to the common area. At the common area, medical supplies like bandages, antiseptic wipes, and bottles of disinfectant were scattered across the floor. Xiaobei was carefully tending to his wounds. The area was mostly deserted, with only a few other people around. He winced as he wrapped a bandage around his arm, his movements shaky. Damn, that hurts. I didn't think killing one monster would trigger a hidden reward. As he patched himself up, he glanced at his watch. His point balance now showed 580 points. He also had a 12-point card. 100% bonus points will be awarded after winning the game, just one game. Xiaobei was grateful that at least the medicine wasn't too expensive. I can buy a lot with just 20 points. His injured arm was now wrapped in layers of gauze and medical tape. The vending machine displayed first aid kits, 29 remaining, 20 points each. He'd been so focused on the task at hand that he'd forgotten to eat. His stomach growled loudly. I'm starving, I haven't eaten anything since yesterday. He scanned the room. Where's Jiang? He said he'd wait for me, but I don't see him anywhere. He searched the crowd again, but his friend was nowhere to be found. I'll go to the vending machine and get something to eat first. As he was walking towards the vending machine, he noticed 3 figures approaching from the opposite direction. It was the same group from before, the ones who had warned him about playing multiple games in a day. The leader, with his curly hair, spotted him. His eyes glinted with malice, like a predator eyeing its prey. So, the rookie managed to survive, and he's already acting cocky, he sneered, making sure Xiaobei could hear. This punk deliberately spoke loudly for me to hear. The leader, with a smug grin, added, you must have a lot of points now. Xiaobei ignored them and checked the vending machine's inventory. Currently out of cookies, 18 bottles of water remaining. Cookies are 80 points, water is 40 points, they're already out of cookies before noon? John was right, you have to fight for food here. Food and water really aren't cheap. I only got 300 points from playing the beginner 1-star game. Xiaobei sighed in disappointment. A wave of fatigue washed over him as he realized how difficult it would be to survive here. If he wanted to earn points quickly, he would have to face even more dangerous challenges. I guess I'll just have to eat tomorrow, he muttered, clutching his stomach. The 3 figures closed in, their expressions hostile. The curly-haired leader waved a cookie in front of his face. Want some cookies, newbie? Let me tell you something, you'll never be able to afford these if you come at this hour. The 3 of them burst into laughter. Ha, this kid's only 18, you think he'll last long? The tallest one, with a shaved head, chimed in. Xiaobei's annoyance flickered across his face, but he replied coldly, is that any of your business? Ah, feisty one, aren't you? Curly chuckled, enjoying this little game of cat and mouse. I'm selling these at a fixed price of 400 points per pack. He held up the cookies, a look of disdain on his face. What? Xiaobei was shocked. The machine said 80 points, does he think I'm stupid? Realizing they were toying with him, he turned to leave. They're too expensive, I don't need them. Curly and his goons moved to block his path. Xiaobei could sense their malicious intent. He frowned. What's the meaning of this? Curly slung an arm around his shoulder, his face a mask of false friendliness. He began his usual spiel about seniors lording over juniors. You can leave after you buy the cookies, food is scarce, and 400 points is a friendly price. Consider it a way to make friends. We can look after each other in the future, eh? You must have earned a lot of points playing 2 games today. He grinned greedily, like he'd struck gold. Xiaobei saw right through his act. They were only after his points, using the food as leverage. Should I really cause trouble with them, especially when I just arrived? He wondered. But if I give in this time, there will be countless times after this. Xiaobei calmly analyzed the situation. He needed to choose his battles carefully. Curly leaned in close, a predatory smile on his face, their eyes locking. If you don't buy them, don't blame me for breaking your legs, he threatened. His expression turned menacing as he tightened his grip on Xiaobei's shoulder, whispering in his ear. So what if you have some skills? You need to learn to bow your head to those stronger than you. Otherwise, you won't survive here. His goons closed in, forming a circle around Xiaobei. The rules say we can't kill you, but... He paused, his eyes burning with malice. Can someone with broken arms and legs survive a game? What are you waiting for? Just do it, put your wristband against mine, and let's get this transaction over with. Curly held out his wristband, his goon cracked his knuckles menacingly. Curly slapped Xiaobei's cheek lightly, his tone impatient. Let me say it again, hand over your points, we're not as patient as you think, hurry up. He shoved his black wristband closer. Xiaobei's eyes narrowed as he stared at Curly. If it was just him, he wouldn't be that much of a threat, but with his 2 goons, he glanced down at the wristband on his right hand, a silent battle raging within him. Do I really have to put up with this? Curly smirked, sensing victory. He extended his wristband further. That's right, put your wristband here. The 2 wristbands touched, and a message flashed on Curly's, transaction detected. Ha, I knew you were smart enough to recognize a favor when you saw one, Curly gloated. But before he could finish his sentence, a fist collided with his jaw. It was Xiaobei. He'd thrown a punch so fast that Curly didn't even see it coming. The force of the blow sent Curly crashing to the ground, blood splattering from his mouth. I'm not giving my points to scum like you. Xiaobei looked down at the unconscious Curly, his expression hardening. He'd just learned a valuable lesson. In a place where the strong preyed on the weak, patience would only fuel their arrogance. Behind him, Curly's goons stared in disbelief. What's the point of playing more games if I can't even protect my own points? He mused. This punk hasn't learned his lesson. I'm going to kill him, Curly roared, struggling to his feet. Get him, he snarled at his goons, his voice laced with venom. They lunged at Xiaobei, eager to avenge their leader. In the distance, a crowd began to gather, their eyes gleaming with morbid curiosity. Hey, a fight, let's go watch. Who's fighting who? It's AO Hygiene, I bet he's shaking down another newbie for their points. The onlookers chuckled from afar, enjoying the spectacle. Jiang stood silently in the distance, observing the situation. One of AO Hygiene's goons lunged at Xiaobei, thoughts raced through Xiaobei's mind. Even though I don't know why the system chose me, I won't be a coward, I'll show the system what I'm made of. He glanced down at his wristband, checking his vitals. Heart rate, 124 BPM, as long as I can dodge their attacks until my heart rate reaches. A shadowy figure lunged at him from behind. Sensing the danger, Xiaobei spun around. He raised his arms defensively, barely blocking the spiked hair goon's surprise attack. That punch was strong. His arms trembled from the force of the blow. He's powerful. Ah, looks like you're already hurt, spiked hair grinned, spotting Xiaobei's weakness. He grabbed Xiaobei's injured arm, twisting it cruelly, pain shot through Xiaobei's body. Does it hurt? Ha, spiked hair laughed sadistically, pressing down on the wound. While Xiaobei was reeling from the pain, another attacker charged from behind. Damn you, you dare defy us? It was Curly, his face contorted with rage. He slammed his fist into Xiaobei's gut. The impact sent Xiaobei flying into the wall. Pain exploded throughout his body as the impact reopened his wounds. Stupid rookie, don't get cocky, Curly's goons mocked him as he slumped against the wall. Break his legs, AO Hygiene snarled, his face twisted with fury. Which leg should I break? Left or right? Spiked hair mused as he approached. He cracked his knuckles, a predatory gleam in his eyes. Sweat beaded on Xiaobei's forehead as he struggled to breathe. This hurts, he glanced at his wristband, desperation welling within him. My body feels like it's falling apart. Heart rate, 152 BPM, still not enough to activate time reverse. Despair threatened to consume him. Am I too weak? I got taken down so easily. But even if I'm weaker, so what? I can't give up. A spark of defiance ignited within him. He pushed himself to his feet, standing defiantly before the towering spiked hair. You're still standing? Not hurting enough, huh? I'll cripple your left leg first. He aimed a vicious kick at Xiaobei's left leg, intending to shatter it. Suddenly, a system notification flashed. Notice, player's heart rate has reached 160 BPM. Time reverse can be activated. Activating time reverse level 2. Predictive trajectory of the opponent's movements for the next 5 seconds. A vision appeared before Xiaobei's eyes, showing spiked hair's attack in slow motion, his foot connecting with his left leg, breaking bone. I see it, Xiaobei's golden eyes narrowed as he anticipated the attack. Another system notification popped up. Player has successfully dodged the attack, activating time reverse level 2 speed boost effect. 2 minutes countdown begins. As the notification faded, Xiaobei's legs moved with incredible speed. Seeing an opening, he darted forward, his enhanced speed leaving spiked hair in the dust. He cocked his fist back, aiming for the stunned goon's face. His fist connected, slamming spiked hair's head against the wall. How did your speed increase so quickly? Spiked hair gasped, disbelief and fear twisting his features. Impossible, how could he? AO Hygiene lunged from behind, fury fueling his attack. Xiaobei's eyes were cold. I can't keep this up for long. I need to end this in one move. The system chimed in. Notice, remaining time for speed boost, 1 minute and 14 seconds. He's too fast. I can't even touch him. AO Hygiene roared in frustration, throwing punches and kicks, but his attacks were useless against Xiaobei's enhanced speed. Xiaobei pivoted on his heel and delivered a brutal roundhouse kick to AO Hygiene's neck. AO Hygiene crumpled to the ground, the force of the kick sending him skidding across the floor. He coughed up blood, his face contorted in pain and disbelief. He took down all three of us so easily? The thought was incomprehensible. Xiaobei walked towards the fallen AO Hygiene, his expression emotionless. You said. You wanted to break my legs, should I crush your head with mine instead? His voice was cold, devoid of mercy. Do you even dare? Do you know who's protecting me? AO Hygiene snarled, clinging to his last shred of defiance. Still talking big? You're just another coward. Xiaobei lifted his foot, bringing it down menacingly near AO Hygiene's head. Spare me, I'll give you my cookies, AO Hygiene pleaded, fear washing over him. His face was pale, his voice trembling. Xiaobei's foot stopped just inches from his face. He decided to show mercy. You're not worth breaking the rules for, he said coldly. He glanced at the name tag on AO Hygiene's shirt, then looked around, making sure no one was watching. He confiscated the cookies from AO Hygiene's pocket. I'll take these as compensation for pissing me off. Zhang watched from afar, a flicker of admiration in his eyes. That kid's something else. It's a shame he's in trouble now. It seems I'll have to take my time recruiting him. The onlookers buzzed with excitement. Are you seeing this? He actually took AO Hygiene's cookies, just like that. How could he do that? Isn't he afraid of revenge? AO Hygiene lay on the ground, seething with rage. He burned the image of Xiaobei's face into his memory. Xiaobei, was it? I'll remember you. The scene shifted to room 24. 2 empty cookie wrappers lay on the floor. Xiaobei sat there, munching on his spoils. I wonder if he'll ever speak to me again after what happened today. Whatever, I don't regret it. His wristband vibrated, a notification flashing on the screen, your point ranking has changed. Click on the leaderboard to view your ranking. Huh? Leaderboard? Xiaobei stared at his wristband in confusion. Leaderboard is updated in real time with player rankings, the notification explained. He opened the leaderboard, child rank, there were hundreds of names listed, each with their corresponding points. I'm still so low on the rankings, it seems I need to work harder, especially since it updates in real time. He finally found his name, rank 276, player, Xiaobei, points, 580, total players, 324. Curiosity got the better of him, I wonder how many points the top player has. He scrolled through the list, his thumb getting tired. The points kept increasing as he went higher, these guys must have so many points, they actually have over 5,000. Finally, he reached the top spot, rank 1, player, Zhao Shifan, points, 7,720. First place, Zhao Shifan, he saved 10,000 points. But what surprised him even more was seeing the name of the guy he just beat up, AO Hygiene, at rank 3. Damn it, Hygiene's in third place? This is going to be complicated. After what happened today, I doubt he'll let me live in peace. If I want to learn more about this place, I'll have to go to him. He stood before Zhang's door, contemplating. He knocked. Zhang, are you there? A muffled voice answered from inside, who is it? I'm playing cards. Zhang emerged from the hallway, not bad, 1 against 3, and you even got yourself some cookies, I really did judge you correctly. He glanced around, making sure no one was listening. But you've made trouble for yourself. I know AO Hygiene, they're all brothers, and AO Hygiene only gets to act tough because of his older brother. Xiaobei voiced his concerns. AO Hygiene is ranked 3rd on the leaderboard, how strong is he? He needed to know how much danger he was in so he could figure out a way to protect himself. John's expression turned serious, he's strong, scarier than you can imagine. At our level, some people are trying to reduce the death toll in the higher level games. And have formed teams based on the top 30 players in the leaderboard, 3 groups in total. Each team plays a game, and they consume thousands of cookies. Zhao Shifang, Li Changsheng, and AO Hygiene are the leaders of the 3 teams, and they're all incredibly strong. Low-level players like us can only tread carefully under their watch. I have a feeling those 2 brothers won't let you off that easily. It seems you've really poked a hornet's nest this time. You're going to face a lot of trouble. I initially wanted to form a team with you for future plans, but it's too risky now that you've offended AO Hygiene. Zhang made his excuses to leave. Oh, I haven't played today's game yet, you shouldn't delay any longer either, take care of yourself, come find me if you need anything. Okay, thanks, everyone was afraid of getting caught in the crossfire, but Xiaobei had a daring thought, if I can reach the top spot, no one will dare to mess with me. The seed of ambition had been planted. 3 days later. Xiaobei, after completing a game, carefully straightened his clothes. And walked confidently towards his room, ignoring the whispers and stares from the people around him. That guy's earning points way too fast. You're telling me, he's only been here a few days and he already has 2,000 points. Who cares what he's capable of? The important thing is whether he can survive until the end, don't bother him, or we'll be in trouble. Xiaobei thought to himself, 2 days have already passed, surprisingly, they haven't bothered me at all, though, I almost forgot about that whole incident, I barely had time to think about anything else. To earn points quickly, he'd been completing 2 games per day, he was also trying to climb the leaderboard, knowing that strength and influence went hand in hand in this place, but completing 2 games each day was incredibly draining. Checking the leaderboard, he saw that he'd risen to rank 191, with a total of 2,180 points. The system training has really helped me improve my strength, even the beginner level games are easy now. But there's no sun, no exit, even the days are simulated, I have no way of knowing where I am. At the child rank level, we only have access to the most basic facilities, aside from the common areas, there's only a gym and a bathroom. And of course, everything here costs points to use, I've been here for days, and I'm starting to lose my sense of time, only by constantly playing and watching my points increase can I grasp the reality of this place. This is it, are those rooms behind this door for the intermediate level games? He stood before a massive door, the floor beneath it decorated with grotesque, menacing faces. His wristband lit up, verifying, player Xiaobei is eligible to participate in intermediate level games. As the message appeared, chains began to rattle and move around him. Only those with over 2,000 points can participate in intermediate level games, the reward for an intermediate level game is 1,000 points. Although the games are more dangerous, you're allowed to team up with other players, he mused, which probably means the elimination rate is higher. 2, his wristband flashed again, player Xiaobei is about to begin today's intermediate level game. Choose player matchmaking method, 1, random matching, 2, team up with 10 friends, costs 100 points per room creation. So if I spend points, I can team up with a stranger? Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to give it a try. Matching in progress, matching complete, please proceed to the intermediate game and room 8 within 5 minutes, failure to verify arrival at the designated room within the time limit will result in a ban from all games for the day. Xiaobei sprinted towards room 8. I need to get there quickly, or I'll be banned. Finally, he arrived at the designated room. He came to a stop, panting, "This is it, right?" To his surprise, there was someone standing in front of him, their back turned. "I was running so fast I didn't notice. Now that I've stopped, I realize there's actually someone here. Don't tell me, my teammate is." He couldn't believe his eyes. The figure turned around at the sound of his voice. It was a girl with long, flowing hair and a beautiful face. My teammate is a girl? He'd assumed his teammate would be male, so seeing a female player threw him off guard. Meanwhile, in a training room, a man was lifting weights, while AO Hygiene paced back and forth, fuming. "Brother, he's been clearing high-level arenas for days now, I don't want to bother him. But that kid's too arrogant. Not only did he beat me up, but he also stole my cookies. The man set down his weights, we can't let him get away with this. If he does, we'll lose face." He stood up, his muscles rippling. He'd clearly been training hard during his time here, his body was a testament to his dedication, and a large, intricate dragon tattoo adorned his back. "Hygiene, I know what you're thinking, but he took what's ours. He needs to be taught a lesson." His voice was chilling, his eyes cold and calculating, they were a strange shade of red, and a cryptic symbol was tattooed on his forehead. The scene cut back to Xiao Bei and his teammate. "You're my teammate, right?" "I'm Xiao Bei," he said, still slightly bewildered. "Let's get started, there's no time to waste," the girl replied curtly. Xiao Bei was intrigued, "So there are female players here, too, you're the first one I've seen." "At our current rank level, men and women are separated into different areas, we only encounter each other in intermediate or high-level games," she explained. She studied him for a moment, a hint of amusement in her eyes. "Is he a rookie? He seems clueless." Xiao Bei thought, "I can't gauge her strength from a random match, but a girl who can survive in this game must be tough." His wristband vibrated again, verifying. "Player Zuzu currently verifying." She extended her hand towards him. "Protect yourself." Verification complete, player can now enter the game. They walked through the door, stepping into the unknown. What awaited them in this intermediate level game? Xiao Bei gasped, staring at the sight before him. A grotesque figure stood in the center of the room, wearing a hat and a tattered cloak, a crimson aura pulsed around it. The closer they got, the more terrifying it appeared. "This isn't going to be easy, can we really complete this mission together?" It turned its head sharply, revealing a face that wasn't human, sharp, jagged teeth bared in a menacing grin, and skeletal hands protruded from its empty eye sockets. "A puppet master," Zuzu murmured. Two towering puppet figures flanked the smaller creature. "This is creepy, be careful," Xiao Bei said. "The game hasn't started yet, they won't attack us now," Zuzu assured him. "Welcome to intermediate level 1-star difficulty, the mission is to steal the puppet master stamp within 20 minutes, reward, 1,000 points per person, time remaining, 20 minutes. Reminder, please take the correct item, the second item on the puppet master's belt, random penalties will occur if you choose incorrectly. The game will begin shortly, please be prepared, game starting in 10, 9, how are we supposed to know which item is the correct one?" Xiao Bei asked. "Let's get closer to the puppet master and see what happens," Zuzu suggested. "Okay," he agreed. 1, countdown complete, game start, the candle on the table flickered and died. As the game began, the two puppets charged at them with blinding speed, weapons drawn. "Watch out, they have swords," Xiao Bei shouted. "Yeah, let's distract them first," Zuzu replied, her eyes narrowed. One of the puppets swung its sword at Xiao Bei, attempting to take him by surprise. He ducked just in time, the blade whistling past his ear. The sword slammed into the ground, cracking the stone floor. The force of the blow was terrifying. "Its attacks are too dangerous, if I get hit, I'm dead," Xiao Bei thought, fear gripping his chest. A shard of stone flew from the impact, grazing his arm and drawing blood. "This is bad, I can't fight it head-on, I need to run." The puppet relentlessly pursued him, forcing him to dodge and retreat. He was unarmed, unable to fight back. Zuzu was engaged in a fierce battle of her own. She was testing the puppet's reflexes, gauging its speed. It wielded two massive swords, each swing a threat to her life. "It's faster than I thought, these puppets are incredibly quick, it won't be easy to take them down." The puppet didn't hesitate, it charged towards Zuzu, its eyes focused solely on her. A fierce clash erupted, the puppet swung its swords, and Zuzu leaped over them, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. Xiao Bei's battle with the other puppet raged on, furniture splintering around them. "I need to deal with this one first, if I can't get to the item, at least I can get its weapon." He was exhausted from the prolonged fight, he paused for a moment, catching his breath. He glanced at Zuzu, who was still locked in combat with the other puppet. As expected, she really is skilled. The puppet master watched the battles unfold, a cruel smirk twisting its features. It seemed to be anticipating something. Zuzu rolled out of the way as the puppet's sword slammed into the ground where she'd been standing. The puppet leaped into the air, aiming its swords at her. She landed safely, the swords plunging into the ground just inches from her feet. Zuzu's eyes were sharp, her movements fluid, she showed no signs of fatigue, proving that she was more than capable of handling this fight. Xiao Bei, watching from the sidelines, realized what she was doing. "Zuzu, She's using this opportunity to get to the puppet master. She's trying to complete the mission quickly, exploiting this opening. Her eyes were fixed on the puppet master, her focus unwavering as she charged towards it. She's aiming for those 2 items on his belt. She just needs to wait for the right moment and grab it, but of course, it won't be that easy. She has to pick the right one. They look so similar. Which one will she choose? Xiaobei wondered, his heart pounding. He held his breath, watching her every move. She's almost there. Zuzu reached for one of the items, her fingers brushing against it. Will she succeed? Or is there another obstacle? A system notification flashed on the massive door. Mission objective: steal the puppet master's item within 20 minutes. Reward: 1,000 points per person. Time remaining: 16 minutes and 35 seconds. A monstrous figure appeared, its face a grinning orange skull with a jagged crack across its mouth. Skeletal hands protruded from its empty eye sockets. Xiaobei stared, eyes wide with shock and disbelief. The young man in the corner muttered to himself, "This is strange, look how easily she's approaching the item, it's like it's not even trying to protect it." He watched as the girl ran towards the puppet master, dodging beams of light that shot out from its body. Suddenly, a black wooden figure emerged from behind the puppet master, advancing towards the girl. "Careful, things aren't always what they seem, it's a trap," the young man yelled, trying to warn her. Hearing the warning, the girl turned around and saw the wooden figure closing in. To her shock, the wooden figure raised its own sword and sliced itself in half. "The puppet's splitting," she cried, scrambling to get away. As she ran, she ripped off her red jacket. She tossed the jacket towards a wooden beam, hoping to create a distraction. But the wooden figure, now fragmented into multiple pieces, slashed through the jacket, shredding it to pieces. One of the puppet's severed arms, clutching a sharp dagger, shot towards her. She was still facing the puppet master, oblivious to the danger behind her. "She's going to get hurt," the young man watching exclaimed, fear twisting his gut. The severed arm plunged the dagger into her right shoulder. The arm fell to the ground, its task complete. This is bad, she won't be able to dodge the next attack. As if on cue, another severed arm shot towards her, its dagger glinting menacingly. Pain ripped through her. What do I do? I can't outrun it. Just then, the young man in red appeared, kicking the dagger-wielding arm away. The arm flew across the room, landing with a thud. He turned to the girl, his eyes filled with concern. "Are you okay?" She clutched her injured arm, her expression determined. Despite the pain, she was still ready to fight. The timer on the door ticked down, 14 minutes and 17 seconds left. They stood back to back, surrounded by the menacing puppet figures, their weapons gleaming in the dim light. "Thank you for the warning, I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for you," she said, her voice strained. "Don't mention it," he replied, trying to sound reassuring. "Teammates have to help each other, playing solo won't work in this game." The orange-faced monster gestured with its skeletal hands. "Those puppets are hard to deal with, they're designed for team play, which is why I didn't let you die." Zuzu's eyes narrowed, watching the puppets intently. "Look out," needles, sharp as razors, shot towards her. With a swift movement, she sliced the needles in half with her sword. "Have you figured out how to deal with them?" she asked Xiaobei. "They lose control if we cut their strings, we can use their own weapons against them." "That's easier said than done, he won't let us get that close, let's start by luring the dual-wielding puppet to the left." The puppets closed in, their movements synchronized. "I'll use the blade puppet to get to the strings and cut them when the time is right." Xiaobei darted forward, drawing the attention of one of the puppets. "Once the strings are cut, we'll both go for the item. The remaining puppets with their large blades shouldn't be able to stop me for long." He came to a stop, facing the puppet with the long staff. "Hold it off for a few seconds, we can't let it split again." They both sprinted in opposite directions, drawing the puppets away from each other. "Okay, the rest is up to you." The puppet pursuing Xiaobei swung its sword, and he narrowly dodged the attack. He was surrounded by a web of red and blue beams of light, the puppet master's attacks relentless. Zuzu, clutching her injured arm, was trying to outrun the other puppet, but it was gaining on her. "This isn't good, it's coming." "Go for the item," she yelled, her voice laced with urgency. "How can I get away?" "I'm surrounded." He was trapped, surrounded by multiple puppets. The largest puppet, the orange one, advanced towards him. Xiaobei stared, his eyes widening in horror. "Damn it, it's moving too fast." In a blink of an eye, the massive puppet engulfed him. Zuzu arrived just in time, seeing the horrifying scene unfold. The puppet paused, staring at her. Suddenly, a hand reached out from behind the puppet's massive form, grabbing it. Xiaobei had been hiding within the puppet's body. He wrenched its head back, urging Zuzu, "Hurry." With a few deft movements, he ripped the puppet's head off. Zuzu seized the opportunity and charged forward. She swung her sword, severing one of the items from the puppet master's belt. "Notice, player has acquired item B, please remain at your current location, violators will be apprehended." "I only got one, the puppets have stopped moving, is the game over?" she asked, panting. "Player Zuzu has acquired the wrong item, penalty, explosion, damn it, she picked the wrong one?" Xiaobei cursed. The item in her hand exploded, knocking him back. Player Xiaobei, do you wish to continue the game? 1. Continue the game and rescue your teammate by obtaining the correct item. Success will award points to the team. Failure will result in a large-scale explosion. 2. End the game. No points will be awarded for this session, and you can leave the game room alone after making your choice. Player Xiaobei, do you wish to continue the game? The system repeated the question, but he was frozen, unable to answer. He stood there, indecision gripping him. The system's prompts continued to flash, but his mind was elsewhere. So the penalty is only for the person who picks the wrong item? And I get to decide whether she lives or dies? The weight of his decision pressed down on him. Zuzu was struggling to pry the explosive item off her hand. She pulled and twisted, but it was no use. I can't get it off. The system chimed in. Player Zuzu has been bound to the item. Please wait for your teammate's decision. Her life was now in his hands. She desperately hoped he would choose to save her eyes pleading, but a flicker of doubt crept into her heart. Xiaobei was in no condition to fight. He was exhausted, and a deep wound on his chest continued to bleed, sapping his strength. He pressed his hand against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. If I continue, I might not even earn any points from this round, he thought, but is 1,000 points worth risking my life? He knew the location of the correct item, but a fierce battle raged within him. His injuries were holding him back, and even though he knew the puppet's weakness, it wouldn't be easy to defeat it. If he stopped, Zuzu would die. He looked at the 2 remaining puppets, their movements swift and precise. They regenerate too quickly. It's too risky to try to cut their strings and grab the item. This was the toughest decision he'd ever faced. Xiaobei's 80-second tribulation was upon him. If I fail, I'm screwed too. More importantly, that girl's life is on the line. Think carefully before making your decision. Either way, there's risk involved. 1. The girl dies. 2. You die and the story ends here. The audience won't get to see your handsome face every day anymore. Xiaobei touched his wound, lost in thought. It's truly a difficult choice to make without feeling any regret. If I fail, she'll drag me down with her and everything's over. I'm not strong enough now, but there will be more opportunities in the future. After a moment of internal struggle, Xiaobei finally made up his mind. He raised his hand and looked at the bracelet. It presented him with 2 options, continue or stop. Based on his analysis, Xiaobei chose to stop. I'm sorry, but I'm out. Zuzu, the girl, stood there still, hanging on to Xiaobia's decision. She desperately wished for a miracle, and that miracle was Xiaobei. Her life now rested entirely in his hands. He couldn't just leave her like this. Sensing Xiaobia's hesitation, Zuzu spoke up, her life depending on his next words. She tried every way to convince him. Wait. I have a very rare reward card. Please help me, and I'll give it to you. Her eyes pleaded with him, desperation clinging to her words. She would do anything, say anything, as long as it meant staying alive. Zuzu continued, her words laced with urgency. I got this hidden reward card in a previous game. I see you still have some strength left. This reward will be crucial for a newbie like you in the advanced games. To prove her words, she showed him the card. It depicted a sword. According to the system, this was a rare weapon card, granting access to a powerful weapon. The weapon is only available for advanced games, and it's a daily offer, Zuzu explained, showing it to Xiaobei. This is what it looks like. Seeing the card and hearing Zuzu's explanation, Xiaobei hesitated. He started analyzing the situation again. Eve received double point cards in other games, but a weapon reward. In being tempted by this rare reward, I still have my system skill. Why not give it a shot? Zuzu had succeeded in making him stay. However, Xiaobei wasn't easily convinced. He wanted some assurance, a guarantee that he wouldn't be risking his life for nothing. He turned back and laid out his terms. If I stay, I'm accepting the risk of dying with you. That alone isn't enough for me to risk my life. Zuzu wasn't naive. She knew words alone couldn't buy trust, especially in a life or death situation. She was prepared for this. If you agree to stay, they'll do anything you ask. The system's voice echoed ominously. Player Xiaobei, please make your decision. The sentence repeated, urging him to stay, to make a choice. Quickly, tension coiled tighter, pushing Xiaobei into a corner, leaving him feeling like he had only one option. To seal the deal, to convince Xiaobei to stay and gamble with his life, Zuzu had to meet his demands. Besides the card, I want 500 points, Xiaobei stated, his voice firm. His decision was made, but only if Zuzu agreed to his terms. He didn't forget to give her a warning, and after this game, if you try anything funny, don't think you can just walk away. He was dead serious. This was a life or death game. If she betrayed him, he wouldn't even let the monsters near her. He would personally make her experience true pain. The look in his eyes, sharp and dangerous, solidified his threat. He meant every word. Whatever the future held, Zuzu was relieved Shed managed to keep him here. So you'll stay, right? Don't worry, you'll get everything I promised once the game ends. With Xiaobia's agreement secured, Zuzu started outlining their strategy, carefully laying out the steps for a successful fight. For our plan, I think we should get the sword first. Cutting those strings will be much easier then. Xiaobei wasn't entirely sold. Getting the sword is doable, but he felt like there was a better way. Surviving while defeating the boss wasn't easy. It required cunning, strategy, and a bit of luck. Pulling his jacket tighter, he voiced his thoughts. This time, it's not about the puppet itself, but the puppeteer's hands. It seemed Xiaobei had already meticulously analyzed every detail, figuring out how to eliminate the obstacles in this game. The key lay with the puppeteer. During the fight, I noticed the strings controlling the puppets are like nerve cords. If we don't address the root, they'll just regenerate in seconds. Xiaobei had paid attention to even the smallest details. That's how Head identified the weaknesses and formulated the optimal strategy. Time ticked away, and with Xiaobei still undecided, the system's voice chimed in again. Player Xiaobei, do you wish to continue the game? Having heard his observations, Zuzu jumped in with her own thoughts. If that's the case, the puppet will lose its offensive power. My life is on the line here. They'll do whatever it takes to fight alongside you. Finally, Xiaobei made his choice. He chose to stay and fight. The system announced his decision. Player Xiaobei, you have chosen to continue. The game will resume shortly. The game's difficulty had been significantly ramped up. The system announced the new rules. Attention, the battle limits have changed. Everything will explode in 3 minutes. Their time was now incredibly limited. They only had 3 minutes to survive. If the timer reached 0, it was game over. Both were stunned by the new rule. It seemed this change was designed to force them to work together flawlessly. Zuzu's voice was tight with worry. 3 minutes? That's way too short. We need to hurry. However, Xiaobei suspected it wasn't just the time limit that had changed. Wait, they've changed their tactics, too. This just got a lot harder. The puppets' positions were different from before. They attacked us head-on before, but now they're protecting the puppeteer. This means the game's difficulty has definitely increased. The clock was ticking, yet neither of them had made a move. It seemed they were stalling. While time was of the essence, they also needed to be strategic. Rushing in blindly might not yield the best results, but spending a little time devising a solid plan would allow them to utilize the remaining time more effectively. They just needed to be smart about it. The pressure was getting to Zuzu. She was worried about every step, every decision. To get the sword, we need to cut the strings, but what if your plan fails? With so little time, every plan was a gamble, every move potentially their last. Then, an idea struck Xiaobei. He looked at the lantern ahead, the candles. We use fire to burn the strings. With the clock ticking down, they had no choice but to take action. You go get the candles, it'll distract them, Xiaobei instructed. If it doesn't work, at least we'll have their hands occupied. Zuzu listened attentively, ready to carry out her part. Zuzu, determined, added, just get that sword, he'll handle the rest. Her voice was firm, unwavering. Xiaobei checked his heart rate, gauging his stamina. The tension was palpable, and both were ready for the fight of their lives. He bolted forward, a blur of motion, his mind raced, strategizing, planning his every move. Attack from the side, create distance between me and the large puppet. The puppeteer won't risk using the large puppets to assist when Zuzu isn't making a move. The puppet's face, a grotesque mask of wood and paint, was focused on him, ready to defend. Despite the throbbing pain from his wound, Xiaobei pushed himself, using every ounce of strength. They've been running for a while now, time to counterattack. This distraction must have left them disoriented. Now was the perfect time to strike. This chance wouldn't come again. He wouldn't let his efforts go to waste. In a flash, Xiaobei lunged toward the large puppet, his sword a silver streak. The impact cleaved the puppet in two, its wooden body offering little resistance to his attack. His speed, honed by adrenaline and desperation, was too much for the puppet to track. As the puppet crumpled, the system chimed, attention. Heart rate exceeding 160 BPM, time reverse level 2 activated. You have used time reverse level 2, predicting the opponent's movements for 5 seconds. With this skill, Xiaobei could predict his enemy's next move. There are exactly 3 attack patterns. Knowing what was coming gave him a significant advantage, allowing him to defend himself effectively and conserve precious seconds. As predicted, the puppets unleashed their 3 attack patterns. However, they were no match for his enhanced reflexes. They were nothing but mindless puppets, outmatched by his human intellect and cunning. Not only did Xiaobei predict their attacks, but he also used their movements against them. As expected, the puppet's attack avoided the string's position. Good thing I was prepared. But then, something unexpected happened. The severed arm of the puppet, still clutching the sword, swung towards him with surprising force. Zuzu! Fire! Now! Xiaobei roared, his eyes wide as he barely dodged the attack. This was it. This was their chance. If they missed it, they were done for. Zuzu spotted a lit candle and rushed towards it, her eyes fixed on the prize. She didn't hesitate, grabbing the entire candelabra, its flames dancing wildly, and charged towards the remaining puppet. The look in her eyes promised destruction to anything that stood in her way. She closed in, ready to strike, but another puppet, hidden from her view, emerged from the shadows. The puppet swung its sword, aiming for her head, but Zuzu ducked just in time, narrowly avoiding being decapitated. Almost got it. Get ready to grab that sword. As she dropped to the ground, the candelabra fell with her, its flames licking at the puppet's strings. The fire quickly devoured the delicate threads, severing the puppet's control. The first stage of their plan was a success. With the puppet disabled, Xiaobei seized his opportunity, snatching the sword from its grasp. A triumphant smirk touched his lips. So far, everything was going according to plan. He held the sword aloft, a beacon of defiance in the face of certain death. The system's voice returned. You have successfully dodged all hidden effect attacks, future vision level 2 activated. Your speed is increased for 2 minutes. The timer ticked down mercilessly, just over 1 minute remained until detonation. They had no time to celebrate, they had to finish this, now. Xiaobei barked out the next order. Zuzu, grab its legs. Ill deal with the puppeteer. His eyes widened as the system chimed in again. Speed boost for 2 minutes is now active for the remaining duration. Crap. We need to hurry. This was it, time to unleash everything. With a burst of speed, Xiaobei launched himself towards the puppeteer. Zuzu gasped. Her jaw dropped. How is he moving so fast? One puppet remained, and it reacted instantly to his approach, swinging its sword in a deadly arc. But it was too slow. The puppet's movements were sluggish compared to Xiaobia's enhanced speed. Speed boost for 2 minutes is now active, time remaining, 1 minute 47 seconds, the system reminded him. Refusing to give the puppet another chance, Xiaobei pressed his attack. His sword flashed, a silver blur aimed at the heart of the remaining puppet. The attack was too swift, too powerful. The puppet didn't even have time to react before it was cleaved in two. Its lifeless halves clattered to the ground, defeated. Suddenly, a bright red string shot out, wrapping itself around the sword in Ziobia's hand. What the? Xiaobei exclaimed, his grip tightening on the hilt as the string pulled. Don't tell me it's trying to take the sword back. The puppeteer, his face contorted with effort, was trying to regain control. He lashed out with more red strings, attempting to bind Xiaobei, to stop him from reaching his goal. The situation was getting desperate. Xiaobei had to break free. Trying to snatch my sword, huh? This string is too tough. I can't hold on. Another puppet, seemingly out of nowhere, flew through the air, narrowly missing Zuzu as it joined the fray, determined to protect its master. But Xiaobei wouldn't back down. He fought with everything he had, outnumbered but not outmatched. This was turning into a much tougher fight than he anticipated, but he wouldn't give up. He scanned the area, looking for an opening, a weakness in the puppeteer's defenses. He wouldn't go down without a fight. Straining against the string's pull, Xiaobei refused to let go of the sword. Like hell I will, I just need to let go for a second. He moved then, a burst of speed carrying him towards his enemy. This was it. Time to end this. With a roar, Xiaobei broke free from the string's grasp. He raised the sword, his eyes locked on the puppeteer. The blade whistled through the air, connecting with a sickening thud. Hurry! I can't hold him much longer. He yelled to Zuzu, his voice strained with exertion. He poured all his remaining strength into the attack. The sword glowed, a beacon of pure energy. This was it, this was the end. Nothing could stop this blow. With a final, determined cry, Xiaobei charged, his steps heavy with purpose. He dashed towards the enemy and took it down completely. Xiaobei overcame all obstacles and rushed forward. The red threads of the puppet master still spread everywhere, hindering his path. With his skillful movements, Xiaobei skillfully approached him, ready to teach him an unforgettable lesson. Reaching him, Xiaobei swiftly slashed his sword. The puppet master's body parts slowly fell apart. It's over, Xiaobei finally took them all down. And of course, the battle was a complete success. Nothing is impossible when you focus on something. The time remaining was only 21 seconds, and Xiaobei defeated his opponent before the clock hit 0. In an instant, Xiaobei successfully defeated the boss. This was a surprising achievement, as he managed to defeat everyone before even reaching the 3-minute mark. Zuzu couldn't help but admire his achievement. He had truly succeeded. This meant she had to fulfill the request he had made earlier. After defeating the boss, as usual, a congratulatory message from the system appeared. Congratulations player, you have successfully obtained the correct item and handled the reward game for the remaining participant. Both of you receive 1,000 points each. However, due to the previous agreement, Xiaobei will receive 1,000 points. Of course, he didn't forget what he had said to Zuzu before agreeing to stay. He turned to her with a triumphant look on his face. Now, it's time to fulfill our agreement. Zuzu cheerfully replied, of course, she would not only keep her promise but also give him something extra. I will also tell you about the connection between weapon cards and high-level games. The scene shifts to a gym. Inside the room, 3 men are busy searching for something. Seeing this, the brown-haired man spoke up. Have you accumulated enough resources? We want to know how many days it will be until our next high-level game. The man who was rummaging through things seemed annoyed and replied. Shut up, I don't need you to remind me. The man behind them, hearing this, chimed in, you're leaving early again. In a separate classroom, a person is already standing inside. The summoned individual appears and speaks. Brother Jean, why did you call me here? The other man coldly replied. Chan Kui Ui Ngo, we will soon enter another game. Do you know why I didn't bring you along? So the man's main purpose in calling the other person was to reveal the truth about his previous arrangements. Of course, the other person had no idea. But he still wanted to try and guess the man's plan to solve Heijin's problems. The man responded seriously and answered Chan Kui Uino's question. Heijin is weak and always causing trouble. But above all, he's my younger brother and my only family. Jean turned his head as he spoke, his face now showing clear annoyance. His features were filled with ferocity. He continued, and some new demon dared to attack and rob him. If we don't make an example of him, those bastards will keep causing us trouble. After hearing what Jean had kept from him for so long, Chan Jean finally understood everything. And naturally, his feelings after hearing the story were no different from Jean's. Understood, he'll take care of this problem and make sure no one dares to mess with Heijin again. The leaderboard currently shows Chan Jean in 7th place with 5,360 points. It can be said that he is steadily climbing the ranks. A system notification pops up, checking in progress. The surrounding area is a secure point trading zone, and other trading privileges have been unlocked. As we agreed, 50 points have been transferred. Okay, Eve received it. Xiaobei said, I didn't expect our point transaction to be verified by AG. AG is the organizer. Zuzu replied, this is to prevent players from stealing points from each other. Then, remembering her question, she asked. But at the end of the game, why were your speed and decisiveness so remarkable? Are you hiding your true strength? Xiaobei didn't want to answer, it doesn't matter. Completing the task is what matters. When you give me the hidden card is more important than these points. Zuzu, not getting the answer she wanted, puffed her cheeks in frustration. I want hand over the card unless the situation calls for it. Xiaobei asked, you mentioned earlier that you know about the connection between weapon cards and high levels. Zuzu immediately responded, starting with weapons. From what we can see at our level, we can only buy medicine and food. Many have tried to get weapons, but it's useless. Some even had the idea of stealing weapons from the monsters. But in the end, they couldn't bring those weapons out of the arena. It was only after I received this card that I learned about the existence of usable weapons. According to the information I have, most people don't know that weapons are allowed in high-level games. Those with weapons will have an advantage in battle. She then handed the card to Xiaobei and said, the weapon card is yours now. Speaking of which, do you want to team up in the future? I've also written down some other information about high-level games. It will definitely be helpful to you. I can give you a more detailed explanation next time. Zuzu felt that being on the same team as him would definitely be beneficial to her. Xiaobei pondered for a moment before saying, okay, I'll wait for your invitation. He then stepped outside, having completed his mission, and returned to his room. As he walked, Xiaobei thought to himself, the advanced games are much more difficult than the ones Eve played before. With my current physical strength, I can't play continuously for long. I have to go back to the system's training ground to train my body further. That's the only way to become stronger. Only then can I complete more challenges and earn points. But after walking for a while, Xiaobei noticed something strange around him. Why are they looking at me like that? He noticed everyone seemed weird, glancing at him with puzzled expressions. But what he didn't expect was that he was being followed. This person had been following him the whole way. But because his guard was down, Uzayabak was completely unaware and didn't pay attention. Suddenly, someone called his name, Xiaobei. Wake this bastard up. It turned out that Xiaobei had been followed, captured, and tied up with chains. They then splashed water on him to wake him up. Startled by the water, Xiaobei slowly opened his eyes. He had been walking down the hallway to his room just a moment ago. So why did he wake up in such a strange place? Hygiene spoke triumphantly with a sarcastic tone. Oh, you're awake? Weren't you feeling unwell just now? Why are you here? At this moment, Xiaobei began to realize and understand everything. It was Hygiene, I was careless after the match ended. And the strength of that chokehold was extraordinary. Xiaobei realized the person who brought him here wasn't Hygiene, then, he looked over and saw, it was him. The red-haired man sneered, I heard you were acting all high and mighty, thinking you're some hotshot around here. I was tailing you this whole time, and you only noticed me when I put you in a chokehold. You really think you're worth my time? He turned to leave. Hygiene, I delivered your little present, I've got things to do, so have your fun with him. Xiaobei was caught off guard. He's one of Heijin's guys? He's dangerous, and he's already gone? First things first, I need to get out of here, I'll deal with them later. Hygiene cackled, so, you thought you could play in the intermediate game, huh? Must racked up a good amount of points, shame, isn't it? Xiaobei, fearless, shot back, what's pathetic is that you needed someone else to grab me. Hygiene raised his club, aiming for Ziobius' legs. In a flash, Xiaobei kicked him hard in the head. The kick sent Hygiene sprawling. He roared at his goons, what are you idiots waiting for? Grab him. Xiaobei used his legs to pin Heijin's head to the ground. He warned the others, don't even think about moving, one wrong step and he'll send him to meet his maker, you guys forced my hand. His voice turned chillingly cold, and if I go down, I'm taking all of you with me. Ziobius' eyes held no warmth, no fear, only icy resolve. Hygiene, already a coward at heart, was utterly terrified. Tears streamed down his face as he gasped for air. Hurry. I can't breathe. The goons, though eager to please their boss, hesitated. They could tell Xiaobei wasn't bluffing. Suddenly, one of them caught a subtle signal from Hygiene. He wasn't sure what his boss was planning. A sly grin spread across his face. Got it, boss. He turned to the others. Let's do this. On my count. 3, 2. As he reached one of the goons released part of the chain. Xiaobei saw the move immediately. It was a risk for them, but a risk that could work in his favor if he played it right. With a burst of speed, he dropped to the ground, yanking the loose end of the chain. He tightened his grip on Hygiene, ensuring his hostage couldn't escape. He pressed the chain against Heijin's throat, his voice a savage growl. You think this is a game? I'm the one in control now, and you're my prisoner, again. You really think a predator lets their prey escape so easily? Ziobius' words dripped with menace, striking fear into Heijin's heart. Despite his predicament, Hygiene still tried to act tough. You touch me and you're dead. My guys have you surrounded. Xiaobei wasn't fazed by the empty threat. Leaning close, he whispered in Heijin's ear, I'm just here to play the game, earn my points, I don't want any trouble. His gaze hardened as he looked at the whimpering Hygiene. But you and your goons? You're pushing your luck. Suddenly, Ziobius' eyes widened. Someone was attacking him from behind. The distraction allowed Hygiene to scramble free. Xiaobei, with cat-like reflexes, easily dodged the cowardly blow. Get him. Hygiene screamed, break his legs and I'll give you 3 bags of cookies each. Motivated by the promise of sugary rewards, the goons surged forward. But they were no match for Xiao Bei. He moved like a whirlwind, his attacks precise and devastating, teaching them a brutal lesson in respect. A sickening crack echoed as one of the goons crumpled to the ground, his ribs shattered, but before Xiao Bei could react, a heavy blow caught him off guard, sending a jolt of pain through his head. Using the chain as a weapon, he retaliated, then swiftly retreated, putting distance between himself and the mob. Blood trickled down his forehead. You may outnumber me, Xiao Bei snarled, his voice raw with pain and fury, and this whole situation may be a huge disadvantage, but if I have to kill every single one of you to survive, I will. He tightened his grip on the chain, his eyes blazing with deadly intent. A system notification flashed in his vision, warning, heart rate exceeding 160 BPM, future vision available, the remaining thugs, their pride wounded, charged again, don't let this loser think he's in control. We're gonna teach him a lesson. Warning, future vision activated, predicting opponent's movements for the next 5 seconds. Xiao Bei launched himself forward, his vision filled with ghostly premonitions of his attacker's moves. He was a phantom, moving with impossible speed, countering each blow before it even landed. Warning, unable to avoid all attacks within 5-second timeframe, speed boost unavailable for the next 2 minutes. Another goon fell. Hygiene, his face a mask of hatred, charged at Xiao Bei, wielding a heavy pipe. You broke my men. You're going to pay. Xiaobia's eyes widened, he hadn't anticipated this, shit. The pipe connected with Xiaobia's leg in a sickening crunch. Agony ripped through him, ack. Seeing red, he lunged for Hygiene, ready to end him. Hygiene, his eyes wide with terror, could only whimper. Xiao Bei slammed Hygiene's head against the ground, he went limp, unconscious. Silence fell over the room. Xiao Bei glared at the unconscious Hygiene, I'm not looking for trouble with you or your brother's goons. But if any of you try to take me out, his voice was ice cold, filled with deadly promise, he'll kill you all. Another attack came out of nowhere, aimed at his injured leg, he barely managed to deflect it. So you want to be the first to die? Xiao Bei snarled, the goon's eyes widened in fear, just get Jin's brother out of here. He yelled, if he dies. He never finished his sentence, Xiaobia's attack was swift and brutal. Across the room, another goon dragged the unconscious Hygiene away. This guy is insane. He cursed. Don't even think about escaping. Xiao Bei roared. Suddenly, a wave of dizziness washed over him. His legs buckled, he crashed to the ground. The pain in his leg was excruciating. I can't even stand, he thought, panic rising in his throat. Was I so caught up in using the skill that I didn't even realize? My leg, it's broken. Despair threatened to consume him, how am I supposed to survive the next game like this? Cut to Xiaobia's room, room 24, 2 other players are inside. Just get today's game over with, one of them said, I'm in the middle of something, how much longer is this gonna take? As they talked, Xiao Bei dragged himself into the room. Keep it down, will you? One of the players snapped, annoyed by the intrusion. Some of us are trying to relax. It was clear that while they shared a room, they had zero sympathy for Xiao Bei. Xiao Bei ignored the comment, despite the blood and bruises, his gaze was hard, his jaw clenched tight. One of the players started to get up, anger flaring, but his roommate pulled him back down. Just leave him be, he muttered, he's probably not long for this world anyway, with the way he's going. Just try not to drag us down with you. Xiao Bei sat down heavily on his bunk, his mind racing, how the hell am I supposed to survive the next game, with a broken leg? He glanced down at his wristband, 3,680 points, 500 points deducted for every day he didn't participate. It wouldn't be long, once his points hit 0, the bracelet would. He slammed his fist against the bunk, unable to contain his frustration. Damn it. Is this really how it ends? The thought of his little sister flashed through his mind. Xiaoxi, she's waiting for me. Regret washed over him. If only I hadn't rushed into things, if only I hadn't been so tempted by the money, but if only wouldn't change anything. At least I left Xiaoxi that bank card, enough to take care of her for a while. He couldn't give up, I have to survive, even if there's just a sliver of hope. As he clung to that thought, a spark of determination ignited in his eyes. When they broke my arm, the pain, it almost stopped my heart. And then, the system, it healed me, it never happened again, but, that means it's possible, hope flickered brighter. A notification appeared in his vision, you have mail, then, another one, congratulations, you have reached 3,000 points and unlocked new system functions. Would you like to access them? New system functions? He had to see this, let's check it out. System function updated, player Xiao Bei granted access to the shop. He read aloud, surprised. He navigated through the menus, the first shop was unlocked, the others below it seemed to require more points. Xiao Bei stared at the screen, his mind working overtime, so I can use the newbie shop now, and the others will unlock later, as I get more points? Newbie shop inventory refreshes based on player status and needs, providing support for overall capability enhancement. Items available include physical restoration aid for injury recovery, temporary weapon enhancement for players without weapons, body enhancement equipment, mystery gift box, game obtained equipment and items can also be exchanged for points. Shop remains open for the next 167 hours. Xiaobia's eyes widened as he scrolled through the list. The items in the newbie shop, they're actually useful. They cover almost everything. There has to be something here that can help me. His gaze landed on one particular item. He tapped on it, his eyes widened when he saw the price, 1,000 points. The other items in the shop were similarly expensive. Severe injury recovery capsule, for the treatment of bone fractures and other life-threatening injuries. Effects take place 6 hours after ingestion. Quantity, 1. Purchase confirmation, severe injury recovery capsule 1000 points, confirm/deny? This tiny thing can really heal a broken bone? He wondered, but he didn't have any other options. It's worth a shot. He tapped confirm. Severe injury recovery capsule purchased, remaining points, 2680. A tiny capsule materialized in his hand. This is it? He muttered, staring at it skeptically. He popped it in his mouth and swallowed. Exhaustion hit him in waves. God, I'm tired. Please, let this work. Cut to another room, where players are training and tending to their injuries. Hygiene, sporting a bandage on his head, listened intently to one of his lackeys. You sure you saw his leg break? With your own eyes? Someone had clearly ratted Xiaobei out. The lackey nodded eagerly. Absolutely. He was limping like a dog when he crawled back to his room. So, about those cookies you promised. It was one of Xiaobia's own roommates. Selling him out for a handful of sweets. A cruel smile spread across Heijin's face as he savored the news. Ha ha ha. That's what he gets for messing with me. Think he's better than me? Now he gets to rot in that room and wait for death like the pathetic worm he is. Let's get that meet my brother brought back and celebrate. We all grew up together, thanks, Hygiene. Attention, your daily growth training is about to end. Refusal to participate will result in a point deduction. After taking the capsule, Xiaobei fell asleep for a while. When he woke up, he started to think. What time is it? I feel like I've been asleep for a long time. My leg is numb. Xiaobei didn't pay much attention when he first woke up, but now he was startled to discover his leg. It's actually healed. It seems those items are expensive but very useful. Too bad I have so few points. Fortunately, the 1000 points I spent were worth it, otherwise I would feel very regretful. The notification continued to appear. Attention, your daily growth training is about to end. Refusal to participate will result in a point deduction. Daily training, it's time. Thanks to the capsule, Xiaobei has fully recovered, his body is back to normal, and he can continue training. Attention, player Xiaobei has entered the system's training room. It seems like my weapon training function has been unlocked in the system store. I just need to use the card to open it. I want to accumulate more points before buying weapons, but it seems that AO Hygiene will not stop harassing me until I'm dead, so I can't just stand still. I have to defeat him. Finally, Xiaobei took out his weapon card, given by Zuzu after completing the challenge. Player Xiaobei used the weapon purchase card. Player is authorized to purchase weapons. At this point, Xiaobei had accessed the armory. The surrounding space was white. Xiaobei silently observed without saying a word. The AG system spoke. Xiaobei, it's good to see you again. Welcome, you have become the 5th player in the rookie phase to activate the armory. Choose wisely. Good items are limited. Each weapon reward card can only be used once. After purchase, there is no exchange or refund, the system said. Not many people have weapons, so it could be that in the game or outside, they'll have a higher chance of winning than others, Xiaobei said. He looked at the rookie arsenal in front of him, carefully considering what he could buy with his current points. These are all melee weapons. Daggers are the cheapest, but to use them in the game. My points are limited and I haven't used any melee weapons before, but I'm guessing a short sword is easier to use. He then successfully bought the short sword. The system announced, you have successfully purchased the rookie short sword. Remaining points, 1680, the AG system continued. Player Xiaobei has successfully purchased the short sword. The armory will now close. I haven't seen the weapon, Xiaobei asked. What? But I haven't received the weapon yet. But he suddenly looked up. The space was ripped apart. That is, he said in surprise as an object pierced through the space where he was standing. The system announced, player, please use your bracelet to verify your identity. He remained silent and followed the instructions. After raising his hand with the bracelet in front of him, the system said, verifying player identity, he said, so that's how it is. Player identity confirmed, it said, and the short sword was slowly brought out. Xiaobei silently watched. The system continued, players can now summon their weapon container in any area where weapons can be used. Xiaobei held the sword in his hand and said, I didn't expect the method of storing weapons to be so special. It's kept in another dimension? Anyway, this could avoid unnecessary trouble. The system announced, the system's daily training process is not yet complete. Please begin your daily training immediately. Xiaobei said, alright, let's finish this quickly and then go find AO Hygiene and his lackeys. Silence. Suddenly, 2 people bumped into each other. The man in red angrily hit the man in black. You want to die? If you don't give it to me, Brother Hygiene won't let you off the hook, you hear? So this was one of that bastard Heijin's lackeys. The man in black could only obey him. Sorry. Xiaobei had just finished eating. He silently turned around to look behind him. Then he stood up and walked towards them. He saw Jiang and the others chatting and laughing merrily. But as soon as he saw Xiaobei, he was terrified. It's Xiaobei. It's him? But yesterday, his leg, he couldn't believe his eyes when he saw Xiaobei fully recovered. How could he recover so quickly? He thought. Hey, what happened to you? He remembered seeing Xiaobei injured yesterday. That's strange, I have to go see, he said. At the bathroom. Hygiene and his lackeys were changing clothes. What are we gonna do after the card game? Look, Brother Hygiene seems happy, so don't be mad at us, one lackey said. Hygiene replied, huh, you sure know how to talk. Hygiene continued, he laughed, what we're gonna do after the card game is go find that bastard Xiaobei, he'll give you guys some fun, and of course, the main purpose is to say goodbye before he dies. But before they could finish their sentence, Xiao Bei came to them. He said, "You don't need to visit me, I'll visit you first." Then he summoned his weapon. He thought, only the strong survive in this place, the weak will die, so. The stunned and terrified men screamed, "It's Xiao Bei. He's fine? No way. Someone confirmed his leg was broken yesterday." Hygiene was terrified. Is that a sword in his hand? But he's just a rookie, how did he get that sword? He thought in fear. Xiao Bei held up the sword. "I will annihilate everything, no matter who gets in my way." Jiang was watching from the outside. He thought to himself, a sword? Did he get a weapon by playing 2 daily newbie games? And he's still fine after being provoked by AO Hygiene so many times. How is that possible? Jiang thought as he witnessed what was happening. Xiaobia's sword sparked with electricity. He pointed it directly at the men standing in front of him and said, "It all ends between us now." Hygiene thought, where did he get that sword? It's bad to be stuck here. Then he still said, "You all saw me break his leg yesterday, it's fine, just attack him and take his sword." One of the lackeys said, "All right." After Hygiene gave the order, "Find a chance to get out and call Chan Jin over here, quick." The rest rushed forward, "You fool. You should have just run away and licked your wounds like a dog. You idiots have no idea what's going on, since I can't kill you all at once," Xiao Bei said. He then slashed 2 of them down. "He'll just cut off your limbs and make you wait for death." With that said, Xiao Bei attacked each of them. One of them still recklessly rushed forward. He was immediately stopped by Xiao Bei, ready to be eliminated. Then he cut off the man's hand to let him know what pain felt like. But at this moment, one of them had quickly escaped while Xiao Bei was off guard. He glanced over and saw him, he was terrified. The man was shaking with fear as the door was blocked. "Damn it! Who are you?" But the door was blocked by Jiang. The lackey was terrified. "Open the door!" He shouted while banging on the door. But with a flash. The man was startled. Xiao Bei had finished him off with a single slash from behind. Jiang stood outside, thinking, "It's better than living like a coward, I'll help you, and you'll owe me one, maybe we'll become a team later and earn a lot of points." Hygiene watched what was happening, too terrified to speak. He thought, even my brother had to struggle so hard to get a weapon, how can a rookie like him be so lucky? Now there were only 2 of them left, Hygiene and Xiao Bei. Hygiene shouted, "I still don't believe you're fine after having your leg broken." He ran away. He ran into the bathroom to hide. Then he arrogantly said, "You think you have a chance to fight back? Humph, so what if you have a sword?" Hygiene arrogantly said to Xiao Bei in front of him, not knowing what fear was. "I broke your leg once, and I can do it again, let's see how long you can last," he said confidently. Then he charged forward, shouting, "You won't escape this time. I'll cut you to pieces." But his attack was easily blocked by Xiao Bei. "Too slow," Xiao Bei said with a contemptuous smile. Then he struck, cutting off one of Hygine's fingers, causing him great pain. Hygiene stood there like a statue, unable to resist as Xiao Bei slashed his thigh. Hygiene screamed in pain, "Ah!" He threatened Xiao Bei, "Stop it. Don't come any closer. If you dare do anything to me, then my brother," he stammered. "These guys are all injured now," Jiang thought as he walked over and said to Xiao Bei, "Xiao Bei, don't do anything reckless, if you kill someone, you'll also be punished by the system according to its rules." "You his friend? Here to save him?" Xiao Bei turned to ask Jiang. But Jiang explained, "I'm just worried about you, he's no match for you now, so instead of risking punishment, why don't you demand points from him to buy back his miserable life?" Hearing this, Hygiene was overjoyed. He hurriedly said, "Of course. Of course. I have a lot of points, you can have as many as you want, just spare my life." Jiang continued, "Earning points here is more important, if you're too reckless, you'll only get yourself into more trouble later." Jiang added, "Trust me, it's for the best. I just need to get out of here alive," Hygiene thought to himself. He said to Xiao Bei, "There's nothing that can't be solved with points, today, I admit defeat, so tell me, how many points do you want?" But Xiao Bei remained silent. Then he slashed Hygine's thigh again. The sword was stained with blood. Xiao Bei said calmly, "I won't make the same mistake twice, there's only one way to end this." At the reading room, 2 people were choosing books. "Here, drink this," Jiang handed Xiao Bei some water. Xiao Bei took it and drank. "So, aren't you afraid they'll take revenge on the person who blocked the back door?" Xiao Bei asked Jiang. "Of course I'm afraid, but luckily, no one was around when I did that," Jiang said as he pulled a chair down to sit. "But you've gotten so much stronger, with that speed, it won't be long until you can play advanced ranked games, right?" Jiang asked Xiao Bei. "Honestly, why did you help me?" Xiao Bei didn't answer, but asked instead. Jiang replied, "I just want to form a team with you, and gathering strong people to play advanced ranked, get me a reason to team up with you," Xiao Bei questioned. "Have you figured out how to deal with AO Hygien's brother? Once he's back, he'll definitely come after you to avenge his little brother," Jiang replied. He then continued his analysis, "You may be strong, but there are others who are stronger, even if you don't die, you won't be able to play the daily games. From what I know, there are people in other groups who have started to notice you, so you need to form a team of your own." Jiang said, glancing at the 2 people in the room who were watching Xiao Bei. Besides, the high-ranked games are more complex, will need more players and good teamwork. You can refuse my offer, but a lone wolf, no matter how strong, can be torn apart by a pack of hyenas. Only then did Xiaobei speak. Assuming we cooperate, what benefits will you bring to me? You may know a lot about high-ranked games, but before Xiaobei could finish, Zhang cut in. Although I'm not as strong as you, I have connections and ways to gather information and rumors throughout this place. If we cooperate, I will use all my resources and help you build a strong team with good players. First, they'll try out some intermediate ranked games. The competition teams are all very fierce, and winning in the advanced rounds will get you high rewards. If you're lucky enough, winning a game will get you promoted immediately. Xiaobei stood up and said, level up in a high-ranked game? Let's get ready. You know that the games are very dangerous, and teaming up doesn't guarantee safety. Let's try a few intermediate ranked games first. Does that mean you agree? Jiang asked. Then the two shook hands in agreement. Jiang said, this is a happy cooperation. Don't worry, I won't be a burden on you. At room A19, Haijin was lying down, recovering. Chanjin asked, how is he? The black-haired man replied, he lost too much blood. It doesn't look good. His broken leg will definitely leave him limping. Hearing this, Chanjin asked, Zhou Xiaobei did that? Didn't Haijin say he had taken care of everything with him? Yes, I saw his leg was broken by brother Haijin, but today, he completely recovered and attacked us with a sword. A sword? How did he get that? Did something happen yesterday? Looks like I underestimated him, Chanjin said. The lackey replied, Brother Jin told us to take care of his brother, but then something like this happened. We're very worried. He had a sword. We couldn't do anything to him. Hearing this, Chanjin decided to take matters into his own hands. Leave him to me, I'll deal with him personally. We can't let anyone humiliate our team anymore. The lackey said, Brother, you are truly loyal. He smiled. He thought, loyal? Why should I care about something so useless? I'm only interested in his sword. 3 days later, Xiaobei asked Jiang, who was lying down tired, are you sure you want to play another intermediate game with me today? Jiang replied, of course, I don't want to miss any chance to earn more points. Xiaobei thought, the 2-star intermediate ranked game is more dangerous, it needs 3 players, maybe I should call Zuzu. Since forming an alliance, Jiang and I have played a few games. Jiang isn't much different than I thought. After a few matches, I found that he was very calm when reacting to unexpected situations. Our teamwork was very good, and the better thing is that he lost weight. Then Jiang said happily, Xiaobei, look how many points I have now. If we keep this up, we'll be able to join the advanced ranked game soon. Xiaobei thought, he's ambitious, we have the same goal of leveling up. Xiaobei thought, after my points reached 4,000, the system announced that I had unlocked a new skill. It's a pretty cool skill. Phantom Image, requires 100 points to activate, cooldown 3 minutes, level 1. Activate the Phantom Image skill, you can dodge attacks and teleport to another location, while leaving an illusion at your position. Phantom Image, I have to save points to activate it, but with such a short cooldown, I should combine it with Future Vision. I can come up with many different fighting styles, I have to find an opportunity to test it. Well then, let's go, we'll go to the arena first, it's probably going to be a tough fight, Xiaobei said. Chan Jin, with his red hair, was still watching them. He's nothing without AO hygiene and my weapon, he may be strong, but we shouldn't act rashly. But Zuzu isn't here, Xiaobei said, it seems she's busy and couldn't make it. Jiang said regretfully, that's too bad, I thought I could finally meet a girl. Turns out, we're going to have a hard time finding someone for the 2-star intermediate game. You have received a team join request, you have mail. Xiaobei was surprised. He was even more surprised that it was Chan Jin. Player Chan Jin wants to join the team, do you agree? This bastard, Xiaobei cursed. Chan Jin approached from the front and greeted, hello, Zhu Xiaobei. At room A19, Haijin had woken up. He shouted, please, give me more points. When my brother comes back, I'll give you double. I don't want to die. I gave you so many cookies, it's time for you to return the favor. He pleaded with the lackey in front of him. The lackey said, it's not that I don't want to help you, but Eve helped you with everything I have. You haven't played any games these past few days, so I had to pay 500 penalty points every day, I really can't help you anymore. Then he left, brother Haijin, let me go, you should find someone else, see if anyone is willing to give you their points. Your brother Chan Jin is in a high-ranked game and can't be reached. Haijin looked at the watch on his wrist, his face defeated. He spoke to his brother, brother, my leg is broken, it hurts so much, Eve been deducted almost all my points, come back soon. Where are you when I need you? Why are you playing a high-ranked game at a time like this? Brother, we want to see each other again, I'm about to die, avenge me and kill Xiaobei. By this time, tears were streaming down his face, why did everything turn out like this? Player AO Hygiene, for not participating in the game today, 500 points will be deducted, the system announced. Points deducted, your remaining points are now 0, player points 0, bracelet commencing judgment. Then it prepared to detonate. Hygiene cried out in pain, ah. His whole body exploded, and he died. On the other side, Xiaobei still didn't know whether to accept the join request. Jiang said to Xiaobei, am I seeing things? Chan Jin wants to team up with us? He's planning to cause trouble and get us killed in the game, whatever you do, don't agree, he warned. He made his move after just a few days, he probably knows my weapon can be used in both intermediate and rookie level games. So he can only force me to hand over my weapon to him in the game, Xiaobei thought. But Chan Jin came closer and said, "We meet again, you really surprised me." As expected, we shouldn't underestimate anyone we play games with, the red-haired man said. "I don't think I have anything to gain from cooperating with you," Xiaobei replied. "If you're uncomfortable with me, you can just kill me in the game. I sincerely want to cooperate with you," the red-haired man said falsely. Xiaobei thought, even if I refuse, he'll continue to plot against me. I have to deal with him sooner rather than later. Then he said to Chan Jin, "Shut up, I'm really angry that you attacked me from behind, but..." Player Chan Jin has joined players Iobius team, he pressed agree. "Show me what you've got," being in the top 10, he smiled and said to him. The red-haired man smiled triumphantly, "A rookie like you with such rapid development potential, it's very exciting. I wonder what's so special about you." "Let's go to the game room," Xiaobei and Jiang left. Jiang said worriedly, "Xiaobei, Chan Jin is very dangerous, are you sure about this?" Xiaobei replied, "If you're afraid, you don't have to join this game, you'll find someone else." Jiang thought, if I don't join this time, he'll never cooperate with me again, all my efforts so far will be wasted. Then he said, "Let's play, we're teammates after all, fighting together, our chances of winning will be greater." The system announced, players Xiaobei, Jiang, and Chan Jin, entering the 2-star intermediate game room. The three entered the game, on a staircase in the sky. Jiang was surprised, "Whoa! What's going on? The 2-star game is very different, we should be careful, if we fall from here, we'll die." Xiaobei just observed silently. Chan Jin did the same, he didn't say a word. In front of them was a giant monster, incredibly tall. The system announced the game's mission, find 3 sticker items in the floating room, place all stickers on the designated locations on the monster's body, right hand, heart, calf, reward, 1,500 points per person, time limit, none. The 2-star intermediate game will begin in 10 seconds, players, prepare. Xiaobei thought, no time limit? It seems he doesn't know this place, this must be his first time here. Xiaobei, you noticed it, right? It's strange, Jiang said, his face filled with worry. No time limit means we can only leave unless we complete the task, and if we can't, we'll be stuck here forever with that monster. Chan Jin finished his sentence. He then arrogantly said, "Xiaobei, if you want to finish this game, hand over your weapon to me. Then I'll consider cooperating with you, otherwise, the longer this drags on, the more dangerous and difficult it'll become." Xiaobei saw this coming. Chan Jin might actually have some information about the monster's attributes, although the tasks and locations are different. The average monster types come from a fixed pool, it wouldn't be surprising if he had encountered it before. "I know," Xiaobei replied, "when the game starts, you do the task I give you, you'll kill it, otherwise, it'll be too dangerous." The system announced, game start. The monster leaped down from above. It screamed, "Ah!" It looked horrifying. 2-star intermediate game task, find 3 sticker tools in the floating room, stick all stickers on the designated spots of the monster's body, hand, left, heart, reward, 1,500 points per person, time, unlimited. The monster had gotten closer to the 3 of them. It looked extremely terrifying. The monster's legs were springs. Jiang looked at the monster and said to Xiaobei, "Ugh, its body smells disgusting." Xiaobei replied, "Springs, huh? That's probably why it can jump so easily, I guess jumping is more advantageous than running in this place." Chan Jin then ran ahead. He turned around and said, "Xiaobei, don't you dare die before I get my hands on your weapon." "Ha ha ha. Jiang, let's split up, you go find the stickers, it'll lure the monster towards Chan Jin," Xiaobei said. "Alright, be careful," Jiang replied as they went their separate ways. Xiaobei jumped up. "I have to keep it focused on me so Jiang can find the stickers and attract it towards Chan Jin," he thought. Its jumping speed is too fast, Xiaobei thought worriedly. The monster lunged. Its tentacles barely missed Xiaobei as he dodged. He looked on in shock. Looking at the bouncing pustules, he thought, this monster's body is covered in pustules, and it's using them as an attack. They probably contain some kind of poison, it'll be troublesome if I get hit. He then jumped down. Xiaobei saw Chan Jin, there he is, he must be trying to find the stickers too, I won't let you escape. Chan Jin, the red-haired man, saw Xiaobei and smiled cunningly. Xiaobei looked at the monster chasing behind him. Good, it's still after me, come and get Chan Jin, he thought. The sound of footsteps descending the stairs could be heard. Chan Jin and Xiaobei were racing against each other. Xiaobei felt a surge of joy seeing Chan Jin ahead. That's right, keep following me, Xiaobei shouted. He then skillfully maneuvered himself and jumped down the stairs. He stopped at Chan Jin's location. He stood still. Both of them, along with the monster, were now in the same place. Chan Jin, you've got nowhere to run now, Xiaobei said. You caught up, Xiaobei, you're fast, Chan Jin, the red-haired man replied. This feels more like you and the monster are on the same team, he said. But Xiaobei just kept quiet. So the sticker's here, he thought. He thought as the monster suddenly attacked. Do you have the sticker? Xiaobei asked. Chan Jin replied as they both dodged the monster's attacks. If I had it, I'd have the upper hand when the game ends, wouldn't I? The evil, red-haired man laughed maniacally. And you actually thought that luring the monster would be useful? I'm more familiar with these things than you are. He then made a surprise attack on Xiaobei. This bastard, he's not that big, but he's strong, Xiaobei thought. They then got into a fight. Even the monster seemed surprised to see the two players, supposedly on the same side, fighting each other. Meanwhile, Jiang had also found a sticker. Yes. I found one. He said, pleased. But looking over at the other side, he thought, Xiaobei seems to be in trouble, I have to go help him. Xiaobei and Chanjin were still fighting. Once he's close to the edge, you'll finish him with one blow. Let's see if you'll trade your weapon when you're about to die, the wicked, red-haired man thought. Xiaobei was now cornered, one wrong step and he would fall to his death. You managed to push me to the edge in just a few moves, as expected from the top player, Xiaobei calmly said. The system announced, warning, player under attack, you have met the requirements to activate the shadow clone skill, do you want to activate it? Xiaobei activated the skill, points deducted, 100, but in this situation, I have to be wary of a counterattack. The red-haired man was taken aback, the system announced that you could activate the shadow clone skill? Chanjin looked over, what? How? I should have hit him. Just like that, Xiaobei had easily dodged Chanjin's attack. The system announced, you have activated the shadow clone skill cooldown time, 3 minutes. So that's how it is, Xiaobei thought. He looked at the clone and thought, a phantom clone, the speed at which I switched places with the phantom clone was incredibly fast, it happened in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, he remembered the sticker in Chanjin's hand. He quickly jumped down, that's not good. The sticker is in his hand. At that moment, the red-haired man was also lost in thought, he dodged at the last minute? But why didn't I see him move? Even in this dangerous situation, I'm confident that I can defeat him. Chanjin thought to himself. He then held up the sticker and shouted, Zhu Xiaobei. Do you want this to fall with me? You can't leave without this. Come and get it. Damn you. Zhu Xiaobei furiously said as he jumped down in pursuit, I can't lose it. I have to activate future vision. The system announced, warning, your heart rate has exceeded 160 BPM, you can now activate future vision. Note, activating level 2 future vision, predicting your opponent's movements for the next 5 seconds. Before Zhu Xiaobei's eyes flashed scenes from the future. He saw the sticker flying through the air. He saw himself and Chanjin fighting mid-air. He saw himself snatching the sticker from Chanjin. But then, he saw Chanjin smirking. Chanjin grabbed his leg and pulled him down. He saw himself falling instead. Zhu Xiaobei witnessed all of this and thought. I see, so you wanted to use the sticker to lure me in, and then reverse our positions while taking back the sticker in the chaos. That way, I would have had to trade my weapon in exchange for my life, not a bad plan, but it fails because I saw through it. Seeing Xiaobei jumping down after him, the red-haired man felt triumphant. He was about to grab Xiaobei's leg and pull him down, but Xiaobei kicked him away. He then fell. What the? How did he react so quickly? The red-haired man thought in shock as he fell, luckily, he managed to grab onto the wall. Don't tell me he saw through my plan, damn it, I have to climb up fast. The red-haired man thought, however, Xiaobei was already chasing after him with no intention of letting him go. Chanjin looked up in terror. You bastard! Are you crazy? Do you want to die? He shouted as Xiaobei landed a blow. Jiang, a hand! Xiaobei shouted. Jiang was already waiting below. He was ready to help Xiaobei. Ag! Chanjin screamed. Jiang grabbed Xiaobei's hand as the red-haired man plummeted into the abyss. I got you, Xiaobei. Jiang exclaimed. Ha! Xiaobei let out a breathless chuckle. It was now midday. Everything was silent. Jiang and Xiaobei had found 2 stickers. The two sat down, what's going on? Eve searched everywhere, but I can't find the 3rd sticker, do you think Chanjin took it and fell with it? Jiang asked. No, I was watching him from the beginning, he didn't have any chance to find the 3rd sticker, since we already found 2 pieces near the stairs, I think we still haven't looked in the right place, Xiaobei replied. Then where is the 3rd sticker? I feel like Eve searched every brick here, if we don't find it, Jiang questioned. Well, either die of exhaustion or starvation, he continued. There's one place we haven't searched since the game started, Xiaobei stated. What? A place we haven't been to? Jiang asked, intrigued. If Chanjin is really dead, then the number of players here should decrease, but it hasn't changed, Xiaobei said, looking at the player count. So I'm betting that Chanjin is still alive, there must be somewhere, below, that we haven't discovered yet, Xiaobei declared. The monster was currently on the bridge. It seemed to be resting. Then it hopped to another spot. Jiang silently observed from below. It seems like the monster won't attack us if we don't wander around, he said to Xiaobei, that's why we should avoid going down to that floor, we'll go to the lowest floor and check below, Xiaobei responded. And with that, they started to move. After taking off their jackets and tying them together, Jiang asked Xiaobei, Xiaobei, are you sure you want to go down? You have no idea what's down there, it could be dangerous, I have to go down, even if it's dangerous, the monster isn't that hard to deal with, what's difficult is finding the 3rd sticker, Xiaobei replied. Xiaobei grabbed onto the makeshift rope and began to descend, Xiaobei, if anything happens, give me a signal, I'll pull you up, Jiang said from above, you'll be fine, Xiaobei reassured him. Let's go find that last sticker, I don't want to stay in this place, he said. But then something unexpected caught Xiaobei's eye. There really is a ladder behind the cloud. I need to go down and see what's below, Xiaobei exclaimed, having spotted a ladder just below the clouds. Xiaobei jumped across. He grabbed hold of the ladder, preparing to climb down. Looking down, Xiaobei noted, the bottom is obscured by clouds, so I can't see clearly, I have to be careful. He continued to climb down alone, the ladder seemed to stretch endlessly downward. However, after reaching the end of the ladder, Xiaobei still hadn't seen the annoying red-haired man, that's it? I still haven't seen any sign of Chang'an? He wondered aloud. We have to go down. With that, he leaped down to the area below. But what he saw next made him freeze. A gaping hole had suddenly opened up on the ground beneath him. It slowly widened, causing Xiaobei to fall in. I see, so there's still hidden space within the playground, he thought as he fell. The third sticker might be inside, he contemplated. Meanwhile, inside the hidden space, everything was quiet. The wicked red-haired man sat alone. Damn it, I can't find the exit, he thought worriedly. But, the third sticker is really here. He thought, then glanced upwards. Suddenly, the door above him swung open, and Xiaobei jumped down. Ha? Xiaobei? You're finally here, Chang'an said, surprised. What should I do? I'll die if I keep falling like this, Xiaobei thought frantically. It's really here, the final sticker. Xiaobei spotted it on a sphere nearby. But he was still falling, damn it, I'm falling too fast. What do I do? However, to his surprise, he didn't hit the ground, what the? It seems like the floor has some kind of invisible cushion, he observed. The red-haired man looked at Xiaobei and commented, the way you fell was even worse than mine, you thought you were going to die, didn't you? Chang'an, you're pretty lucky, I never thought you would survive a fall from that height, Xiaobei remarked, speaking of which, I still wonder how you were able to rewind time at that crucial moment, Chang'an said, eyeing Xiaobei. Are you hiding something? Or do you have some other trick up your sleeve? He questioned. Xiaobei looked at him and calmly replied, your instincts are sharp, but it doesn't matter, don't we all participate in this game to obtain weapons? He continued, however, I can't give you my weapon, but I have another way to get you a weapon, don't tell me, you still haven't acquired a weapon yet? Chang'an chuckled and responded, ha, you think weapons in this arena can be obtained so easily? Xiaobei looked at Chang'an and said, under Ao Heiyan's command, whether you can advance to a higher rank or not depends on his arrangements, if he stands above you for even a day, you won't be able to advance. Let me guess, is this why you're so keen on taking my weapon? Do you want to break free from Ao Heiyan and fight him with a weapon? Xiaobei asked, a sly smile playing on his lips. Having his true intentions exposed, the red-haired man was rendered speechless. I know for a fact that there are 4 more weapons at this level, Xiaobei stated. Chang'an listened intently. Actually, I have a strategy, Xiaobei trailed off. If Ao Heiyan isn't dead yet, then he'll be my first target. So, how about it? Want to team up with me? Xiaobei turned around and proposed to Chang'an, well kill Ao Heiyan, and his weapon will be yours, you can then become the leader of your group and successfully level up. So, Chang'an began, processing the offer. You want to collaborate? But why should I risk joining your team? Going against Ao Heiyan is even more dangerous, he asked, skeptical. Is there any place in here that isn't dangerous? Instead of that, wouldn't you prefer to be the master of your own fate? Of course, you can refuse, Xiaobei replied. But are you really okay with living off his scraps until you die? My outlook on life is that we must eliminate obstacles that hinder our growth and move forward, he continued, a confident smirk gracing his face. You're really interesting, Chang'an admitted, somewhat impressed. Let's put that aside for now, let's grab the final sticker and get out of here, Xiaobei said, changing the subject and looking upwards. The final sticker was on a high platform above them. I'm actually glad you came, I'm not sure how long I could have survived down here, before you arrived, I tried a few things and figured out how to play, Chang'an said, explaining his discovery. First, I hit the gong to make a sound, he demonstrated. Then, a corresponding cube will appear in the area below the sphere, you then have to climb the cubes to reach the sphere. No wonder he's stuck here, this can't be done alone, it tests the reaction speed of 2 players, Xiaobei thought, understanding the challenge. The good thing is, you won't die from falling at any height because of the cushion on the ground, then, just press the button to start the game, Chang'an added. Chang'an pressed the button to start the game. It's about to start, get ready, Chang'an said to Xiaobei. Xiaobei remained silent, carefully observing. As expected, a cube emerged. Then more cubes appeared in rapid succession. Xiaobei jumped onto a cube, thinking, so each cube disappears after 5 seconds, if Chang'an can keep up and open the next cube in time, we'll be fine. Chang'an frantically hit the gongs. They're appearing faster, and each hit is so far apart, so tiring. The red-haired man panted, struggling to keep up. Suddenly, Chang'an froze. He saw 3 gongs lighting up simultaneously, 3 at the same time? He exclaimed. Damn it! I can't do it in such a short time. On the other side, Xiaobei could no longer continue as his platform vanished. What the? It disappeared. What was that, Chang'an? He shouted in frustration as he fell. He landed with a thud. Chang'an looked sheepishly at Xiaobei, sorry, I'm too tired, but, you're not hurt, right? I mean, there's a cushion effect on the ground, he stammered. Xiaobei snatched the gong stick from Chang'an's hand, you're too inexperienced and slow for this game, he'll do it. You climb the cubes. A moment later, the two had switched roles. Chang'an watched Xiaobei, bewildered. How many laps have you run already? Do you need to warm up before hitting the gong? So strange, he muttered, observing Xiao Bei running around the room. I need to increase my heart rate. With future vision, I can anticipate anything unexpected when I hit the gongs, Xiao Bei thought strategically. His heart rate reached 170 BPM. He stopped and declared, "This is enough, let's begin." Meanwhile, at the Asia boxing gym, the underling who had taken care of Jean's younger brother was being held captive and tortured. He pleaded through his pain, "Brother Jean. Brother Jean. I really did my best to help Jean. He was injured and lost too much blood. There was nothing more I could do." Jean sat silently. His other underlings stood around him. So, Xiao Bei also possesses a weapon. His growth rate is truly alarming, Jean thought, troubled. He recalled the messages his younger brother sent before his death. Jean must have been terrified before he died, and I didn't even get to see him before he passed. He then addressed his underlings, "Where is Jean? I told him to take care of that piece of trash. How could Jean die like this? Where is Jean?" One of the underlings replied, "Someone saw him entering a game with Xiao Bei. Apparently, he might have planned to kill Xiao Bei within the game, but the game hasn't ended yet." Yin's gaze turned cold. "If I hadn't been schemed against, I wouldn't have wasted so much time getting back, and Jean wouldn't have died that way, but it's too late to say those things now. If I don't kill Xiao Bei myself, I won't be able to quell this rage. All of you, wait at his game room. If Xiao Bei dies in the game, consider him lucky, but if he survives, bring him to me immediately," he ordered, his voice laced with fury. "Get up." The captured underling was roughly pulled to his feet. "Brother, please. Spare me," he begged desperately. The man looked utterly pathetic. But Jean, consumed by rage and grief, mercilessly chopped off the man's leg. The severed limb flew across the room. Jean glared down and said, "If you truly did everything to help Jean, why is he dead and you're still alive? Before you die, you will experience the pain and fear that Jean endured." Looking at the high-hanging lamp holding the final sticker, Xiao Bei muttered, "He's halfway there, the surroundings are the same as where I fell. Now's the time to activate my skill," he thought strategically. Jean, perched above, called down, "The gongs will light up faster from now on, can you keep up with the pace?" The system announced, "Alert, activating level 2 future vision, predicting the next 5 seconds." Scenes from the immediate future unfolded before Ziobia's eyes. He saw the exact sequence in which the gongs would light up. "I see, 4 of them will light up simultaneously. If I didn't know the future, it would be incredibly difficult to hit them all in time due to their position and distance," he thought. Without wasting a second, he swiftly struck all 4 gongs. Jean watched in astonishment. Did he really hit them all? He thought, wide-eyed, as the corresponding cubes materialized. Now it's up to Jean, Xiao Bei thought from below. I hope he can climb up and grab the sticker. Jean, seizing the opportunity, sprinted across the appearing cubes with impressive speed. He dashed towards the lamp holding the sticker and leaped. Xiao Bei watched silently, his breath caught in his throat. Fortunately, Jean reached the lamp just in time, gripping it tightly. "After all those attempts, we finally got it," he exclaimed triumphantly, holding up the sticker to Xiao Bei. With the sticker retrieved, the door above them slowly began to open. "The ceiling's opening," Jean informed Xiao Bei. "Let's get out of here," Xiao Bei replied, eager to escape the confined space. Meanwhile, Jiang was still waiting patiently above for Ziobia's return. "It's been so long, I wonder if something happened?" he thought worriedly. Suddenly, the jacket rope twitched. "Jiang!" Ziobia's voice called out. "Xiao Bei!" Jiang exclaimed, relieved to hear his friend's voice, "Pull me up." Dusk had settled in. Jiang and Xiao Bei stood together, waiting for Jean to ascend. "Is he really working with us?" Jiang asked, suspicious. "Maybe he's just messing with us. If I let go now, forget it," Xiao Bei interrupted. "He's holding the 3rd sticker, and there are a few other reasons to pull him up. And besides," Xiao Bei added, "we don't really have any grudge against him. I'm sure we'll end up working together sooner or later." Jean finally reached the top, relieved. Finally back. "Now hurry up and put this sticker on. We should be careful and keep an eye on him," Jiang warned. Jean had safely climbed up. "We have all the stickers, now let's finish this game," Xiao Bei said, turning towards the monster. Outside the game room, the digital display announced, "Room 54 intermediate game, completed." "I never thought sticking stickers on a monster would be so easy," Jiang chuckled, relieved. "With 2,000 points, we can finally play the high-ranking games." However, Yin's underlings were waiting for them outside. Xiao Bei was surprised to see them. Jiang and Jean were equally taken aback. A group of Yin's underlings stood before them, blocking their path. "Jean, why didn't you kill him? You've been slacking off lately, you've messed up everything boss told you to do," one of them sneered. Jean remained silent, avoiding their glares. The gray-haired underling stepped forward and addressed Xiao Bei. "You're Xiao Bei, right? Come with us, Boss Ao Yin wants to see you." "Don't worry, there are too many of them, we can't confront them head-on," Xiao Bei reassured Jiang, who was becoming visibly nervous. "I want to see what kind of person Ao Yin is. It'll help me understand him better and plan for the future." What? "We're not going to die if we go with them, are we?" Jiang stammered, terrified. "Fine, but let him go," Xiao Bei said, gesturing towards Jiang. "He was just a collaborator in the game." "Xiao Bei?" Jiang exclaimed, shocked. "For your cooperation, fine, we only need you anyway," the underling said dismissively. With that, the underlings parted, allowing those not involved to pass. Chanjin, you too, boss wants to see you, another underling said, glaring at the red-haired man. Xiaobei followed He Yin's underlings. They led him towards a specific location. He must know about his younger brother's death by now, and he's probably looking for me to take revenge. If I want this to end, I need to deal with everything related to Ao Hyin, Xiaobei thought, his resolve hardening. They reached the boxing area. Stop looking around and keep moving, one of the underlings snapped at Xiaobei. He remained silent. Chanjin glanced at Xiaobei, equally silent. He whispered to the underling beside him, is boss angry with me? You'll find out soon enough, the underling replied ominously. The boxing area was empty. The boxing area, it's my first time here, Xiaobei thought, taking in the surroundings. Suddenly, something caught his eye. Ao Hyin had Chanjin by the head, gripping his hair tightly. Chanjin's eyes widened in shock. Before he could react, Ao Hyin flung him across the room. Chanjin's head collided with an iron bar, his mouth spilling blood as he cried out in pain. Ao Hyin stepped on Chanjin's face, his expression murderous. Chanjin, I told you to handle the problem, but you let things go too far, he growled. I'm sorry, I did everything I could, but, Chanjin choked out an explanation. Ao Hyin summoned his weapon. Sorry? Is that what you want to say? He asked, his voice dangerously low. So his weapon is a long sword, Xiaobei observed silently, his eyes widening slightly. Since you failed, there must be a punishment, Ao Hyin said coldly, raising his longsword to strike off Chanjin's hand. Chanjin closed his eyes, bracing himself. But at that moment, Xiaobei intervened, using his own weapon to block the blow. Ao Hyin turned his gaze to Xiaobei, his eyes narrowed. Xiaobei stood protectively in front of Chanjin, meeting his gaze with unwavering determination. Ao Hyin smirked cruelly, Xiaobei, don't worry, I'll be your turn soon enough, after I deal with this trash, and when that time comes, don't you dare die too quickly, I have plenty of games for you to play, games that will make you wish for death, games that will make you experience a slow and agonizing end. But Xiaobei showed no fear, you'll be disappointed, he stated calmly. Because I won't end up a worthless piece of trash like your brother, Ao Hyin. Ao Hijin's face contorted with rage. He lunged at Xiaobei, his longsword aimed for a lethal blow. Xiaobei swiftly dodged the attack, oh, you're pretty fast, but let's see if you can keep up with my speed. Ao Hyin snarled. And with that, he vanished. What the? He disappeared. Xiaobei exclaimed, caught off guard. The system's voice rang out, alert, activating future vision, 5-second prediction activated. Ha! It's over. Even monsters in the high-ranking games can't react to boss maximum speed. One of the underlings boasted. Chanjin watched intently, his eyes glued to the scene unfolding before him. But to everyone's astonishment, Xiaobei successfully evaded Ao Heyin's attack. Ao Hyin stared in disbelief, what the? How? He didn't even have time to see me, so how could he dodge? It's a good thing I activated my skill in time, otherwise, that blow would have severely injured me, Xiaobei thought, his heart pounding. With newfound confidence, Xiaobei took a step forward. Now it's my turn, the system announced, you have successfully dodged all attacks for 5 seconds, activating future vision secondary effect, speed boost, duration, 2 minutes. Humph, he'll chop off all your limbs and make you crawl before me in repentance. Ao Hyin snarled, still confident in his abilities. Suddenly, the lights went out, plunging the boxing area into darkness. The two figures clashed in a flurry of movement, their weapons sparking as they collided. His speed, it's on par with mine? Interesting, Ao Hyin thought, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. What? Shadow clone activated. Xiaobei had created a clone of himself. Ao Hyin was now completely outmatched. Before Ao Hyin could react, he felt a cold blade pressed against his throat. Xiaobei stood behind him, his voice cold and steady, it's over.